having serious issues. I don't know what the hell is to do this without starting over. You guys know we've done shows on Anton Daniels, right? The thing that's big to me is not selling your beliefs for content. Beliefs are very, 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 very important. The beliefs are what make you up. You believe you like the color blue, so you're probably going to be dressing in a lot of it, right? It's probably going to be associated with your car somehow. It's going to be associated with you in one way or another. Which is why you have to hold dear to your beliefs. You can't compromise your beliefs, because the moment you compromise your beliefs are no longer your beliefs, but you have someone else's beliefs. And that's dangerous, I'm telling you guys. We see it all day long. Like, I believe that the gay movement, I think that was for people who were socially awkward, hadn't never really quite figured out who they are in society. And that gave people an avenue, a home that they could go to where they could be weird and be accepted at the same token. Because in society, you kind of have to maintain a certain poise, right? You kind of have to hold yourself a certain way. And I believe in that. I believe that that's a good thing, right? I believe that's a good thing because it keeps us all from going too far. But I do feel as though the brother Anton Daniels, listen, shout out to my bro AJ, definitely in the building, starting this thing out. Shout out to bro moderator, the silent assassin. I was about to say, where's he at? And I don't even have. Let's get it together, people. Rock with me like I rock with you. Give me some grace. Give me some grace. Give me some grace. Let's get this thing going. Okay, that account's still suspended. But they didn't know we had one with 12,000 subscribers too, right? They didn't know about that. They thought we were down and out. But this is what I'm telling you guys. Once you start, and I'm not saying for any money, you can sell yourself out just for adoration, just to be a part of certain groups. And that's what I think happened in the LGBT community, things like that. Well, that's not going to work, but I'll go ahead and do that. 1,000 apologies, people. Just rock with me. There we go. We're ready. You can sell yourself short. You really can. I want all of you guys to make sure that you stay very clear of opportunities where you can sell yourself short. Because listen, I'm telling you right now, that right there is a path that once you go down, it is so hard to find your way back. You will have gained allies based on those bullcrap beliefs that you adopted in order to, maintain a certain status or increase a following or something like that. And you will have to change. You will have to change into the type of person of the fake beliefs that you started expressing in order to gain that following. I'm not even saying that, you know what, there are things about Anton Daniels that I respect. There are things about Anton Daniels that I respect. I believe I respect that he believed in himself all the way to his success. His beginning is a little bit weird to me, right? His beginning is a little bit weird to me, but you already know what it is, AJ. Oh, we tripping over here. What's up with the volume? Okay. I believe that once you go down that path, it'll be so hard to find your way back to where even you won't remember what you resemble, because you will have taken on some new beliefs, right? You will have taken on a whole different identity, and you have to do that when you start believing certain things. Listen, intentionally make myself somewhat ignorant to politics because I've seen what it does to people. It can really change a family member. It can really change someone. Like what I've seen, once you go down that conservative rabbit hole, people aren't the same. It's like, but that was my cousin. He was slanging with us. And now he looks down on black people. Right? That stuff is dangerous. I've also always stayed away from video games because I've saw what video games can do to people. It can become your life. So that alone lets you. Some of you know what I'm talking about. You have kids who have went down that rabbit hole. You know what? Let me make sure there's no buzz. Because people, we did have a buzz yesterday, and it was all throughout the show, but it's all good. I appreciate you guys for always letting me know. Shout out to my girl Takesha in this situation. People on TikTok, we got to do way better with the support on the TikTok. For real, it's dropped significantly, and we show up to give you guys a hot show and life-changer information every day. So rock with the show, support the show, like the show rocks with you. But listen, we're going to get all the way into this thing. We're going to delve on into this thing. I want to show you guys Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels almost came to blows. Like they literally almost came to blows. I have some respect. See what I'm saying? Look, I've been quite exhausted from politics because of my neighbors. They live for politics. It's like watching. It's boxing. It's a source of entertainment. But let's go.
Cherry sours I shouldn't be eating. This is Darlene OG Ortiz, for people who don't know.
Thank you for that. Oh, my God. Not the full thing.
I was on time. I'm going to just say that.
Hey,
Yes,
we
it is.
expected it. I already knew. That's why I got here almost on time.
I was on time.
My man. You dig what I'm saying? A lot of y'all know. We said he was coming. Anton in the house. Hey, man, let me tell you something. I'm so glad you here. Because
Listen, I want to say this. This is definitely not a shot to the brother Corey Holcomb. You guys are going to see me on his show soon. I rock with a ton of Corey Holcomb's philosophies, ideologies, and viewpoints. But I'm going to tell you where I knew that this was going to be bad. Well, not bad, but I just want to say where I knew that some aspects of it was going to be unmatched, unequally matched, right? The reason that I knew that Anton Daniels was going to have some very good score, he was going to score some pretty good points, was because Anton Daniels has educated himself, right? Anton Daniels has educated himself, and he has to be intelligent because he knows how to articulate his beliefs quite fluently, right? So not only is he intelligent, but he's educated himself in certain areas. Now, the problem with that is this. Corey Holcomb is intelligent. You can listen to it and you can tell. But the issue with that is if utilized correctly, education can destroy intelligence. And here's what I mean. You can be if a person knows how to utilize it, if they know that you haven't educated yourself in certain arenas, they can make that the focal point of the discussion and you will appear to be lost, right? Because you're not educated in this thing. With education, you can start bringing up certain topics that person, the intelligent person, isn't very versed in, and it will make it seem like you know a lot that they don't know. But see, here's where I believe Corey Holcomb kind of set himself at a disadvantage. He should have pushed it far away from the political arena, because if I'm not mistaken, Corey Holcomb will tell you, I'm not politically inclined like that. You know, so when you allow somebody to keep on pushing in that direction, they're pushing closer towards something that you're not versed about, and it's going to make it seem like they know something that you don't know, right? But I don't want to give the whole show away. Let's go.
people need to see a clash like this. Not a clash within something bad, just people who got something to say, like what you say and what I say. I think it's going to be interesting.
I do too. I think it's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, we had a great conversation too. We had time before you got here, so we had a great
I
conversation.
buttered it up, so
You don't need to
That's what's
butter.
up.
I
You
made
don't need
sure
to
that
butter
I
me
made
up.
sure that she felt good about this.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to butter.
We
butter
still
me
trying to get Shannon Sharp on here so Darlene can have something to do after the show.
Sylvia definitely in the
Oh,
building, rocking
brother.
with us.
up. Too old. That man don't want this.
I know
Your,
that,
your
but
chat, your chat think they tough.
Who
I
cares?
noticed
they
that.
think they tough?
They think they tough.
Yeah. They be out there.
They not that tough.
Uh-oh.
We
You
seen
charging them up.
we seen
Uh-oh, here we
we
go.
seen
Yeah.
worse. You know,
You guys know I'm at odds with Anton Daniels, the way he portrays himself and things like that. But I'm going to say this. I can respect how composed he was throughout this thing. And I'm telling you now, people, he went in there armed with this. He knew how he was going to handle being on Corey's show and everything. I'm telling you, trust me.
I don't pay attention to niggas that don't got
He knew the weapons that he was going to use and everything. He knew where his strong areas were going to be. He knew, like, trust me, watch.
no profile picture.
You know, I always hate
promise to
motherfuckers
God,
talk,
bro.
And they scared to step forward.
I don't pay attention. I think them type of niggas jerk off in their socks.
Yeah.
Well, now they've gotten so savvy where they can actually put a picture, but you open it up and it's like, oh, no post, no nothing. It's like, oh, okay.
We don't take that serious.
Exactly. Keyboard cowards is what I call them.
Somebody said, what Craig had, he on time out. Craig had a show, fool.
That's right.
Craig going out here doing his thing.
Papa Craig.
But anyway, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it.
Here's what I want to say. I don't want to pause this too much and ruin your guys' experience. I'm not going to do that. But what I want to say is this. The reason that this was an unfair match, and Corey definitely held his own. Like, he made some good points. I really wish they had have let me. I want to square off with Anton Daniels, right? In a belief versus belief way, right? You also have to do your homework on people. That way, not many things can be unleashed on you that catch you by surprise, right? Because that's where people are made to look foolish and things like that. If somebody hits you with something like, yeah, but didn't you have charges against you in 1994 for touching young kids? It'd be like game over. You know what I mean? So I think that played a role in it too. Shout out to my brother Larry, definitely in this building, always rocking with us and keeping it thorough. My brother, I appreciate the support. I appreciate all of my supporters. But let's go. Oh, what was I saying? Yeah, the reason that I knew that this was going to be kind of unfair, and I'm not even saying Corey didn't hold his own because he made some good points, but the reason I knew it was going to be unfair, Corey was going into this to prove a point. He was going into this to prove a point of the foundation of his point would have been based around logic. Anton Daniels is probably going to respond with some information that he has, right? Let's go.
There's so much to say. I know we ain't going to be able to get to it all, but
We gonna try?
there's so much to say. I got to ask you this just off top.
I'm with it.
How do you feel? Because we ain't going to do all politics because that ain't what the show
We
about.
gotta get there though.
Okay, you see? Anton knew what weapons he was going to pull out before he even got to the show. He's looked at Corey. He knows the areas where Corey probably isn't as interested in, right? And those are the areas where you can sue somebody up if you just keep on pressing towards that thing that you know that they're not really, that interested in, that versed in. AJ definitely in the building, rocking with us, supporting us again. Dude is really eating snacks on a microphone. AJ picking up on it. Let's go.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't want you to miss no points.
All right, I'm with it.
Nations for their resources and play it off like it's other reasons.
I
I'm
think
talking
that's a
about
part
this
of the
nation,
game.
the U.S.
That's the part of the game.
When you say the part of the game, I don't understand. Do you think
Corey
Everybody
Holcomb.
done been conquered. Slavery didn't exist way before we ever came in here.
Corey Holcomb just suggested the premise. What do you think about countries that go invade other countries and conquer them, to steal their resources, but say they went over there for another reason? And I can respect, I hope I can get this right back. Let me see. Okay, I think I got close. And here's what Anton answered.
Say the part of the game I don't understand. Do you
Everybody,
think
Okay, let me try to get this as close. Okay. Again, Corey Holcomb asked Anton Daniels, he was talking about the United States when they just invaded Venezuela, right? We all know that they're invading for their resources. Corey Holcomb asked him, what do you think about countries that will invade a country for their resources but say they invaded it for something else? Here's Anton Daniels.
play it off like it's other reasons?
I
I'm
think
talking
that's the
about
part
this
of the
nation,
game.
the U.S.
That's the part of the game.
When you say the part of the game, I don't understand. Do you think
Everybody done been conquered. Slavery didn't exist way before we ever came in here. So I don't see what the problem is.
Damn it! I hate agreeing with this dude. And it's only because of the way he carries himself. It's not because he's not intelligent. It's not because he's not successful. I do have a problem with the image, the character that he has taken on. But I'll say this. He has a point. When you talk about what country, whether or not the United States is wrong for conquering these people, conquering blacks, well, if we're playing a competitive game, aren't they supposed to be doing that until someone can stop them? I'm going to say this again. People complain about the United States conquering countries and taking their resources. But isn't that what they're supposed to be doing if we are playing a competitive game? And they have positioned themselves to where everybody else knows better than to try to come conquer the United States. A bully is the bully until a bigger and badder bully shows up. Okay, so that is what that is.
Well, I tell you like this. I cannot respect men who are claim jackers. Like I don't
Like what? Give me an example.
like the United States.
No, give me an example, like a real life thing. Like, what did they take?
The United States.
Like taking this country?
Not just taking this country. How do you think you got here?
Yeah, the transatlantic slave trade.
You're a smart man.
Right. I studied
So-
it. I know all about it.
So it's very hard to be respectful of what is here when me, for example, as an African American male, I know how I got here. I was not. I didn't take the cheap flight on Frontier here. My people were kidnapped. My people were
sold by
robbed.
Africans.
They what?
They were sold by Africans.
You say all the people were sold by Africans?
How you think what you think white people came over there and got us?
Yes.
No, they were sold.
So
They just capitalized off of it better than the Africans did.
okay.
Okay, I want to say this. Anton's not wrong. You know, people try to minimize slavery by saying, well, the Africans sold us. I agree. I'm not going to say that slavery was exercised in practice in biblical days, right? It was. So it's not new. What America did isn't new. The thing that was bad about what America did is after they got their slaves, what they did to them and how they treated them. That's something that you could look it up. It's like the worst recorded level of violence in history. Like the things that they done to these people. They're cutting balls off. They're scanning people. So the selling of slaves wasn't the big problem. It was what the slave owners did to the slaves once they got them back here to America. Because the truth of the matter is, there's none of us who would, if we had a wish, there's none of us who would say, I wish my people was never sold into slavery. Because you wouldn't live in America then. We do have the opportunity to turn ourselves into something, but we have to go through hell in order to achieve the American dream that everybody swims over here in crocodile-infested waters to experience. That's the problem. We have significant levels of disadvantage on us, but let's go.
You're saying that all of the black people that were brought here were sold by Africans.
Correct.
So the white people they were just doing transactions over there.
Absolutely. It was capitalism. See, the thing about white people, you think that racism is inherently in them. Racism is inherently in all of us. Black people is some of the most racist people I've ever seen in my entire life. We don't
I highly disagree. I've heard him say that before, and I hear people try to use that point. But the black people in America who are racist, they're racist as a response. We know what gets done to us. And what are you supposed to develop for the people who are doing these things to you? A love? It's not going to know. Black people, if you look at the overwhelming number of black people aren't even a racist, even when they should be. It's just not true. I don't know why they say that. They use these isolated incidences of where a black person does something to suggest that blacks are racist. Blacks are not racist. We're actually too good in nature is the problem. We're too good in nature. We're too forgiving. We're too full of grace. That's what I believe.
Even like each other.
So can I ask you a question?
No,
Why do you
hold
think-
on. Let's
why-
stay there.
Okay.
We don't even like each other.
Let's talk about it then. You can look this up on Grok. You can look it up on Gemini. You can look it up on ChatGPT. It's not racism. It's classism. Blacks go at each other about lack of resources. Somebody else impeding upon a thing that I utilize for my resources, right? That's what this is about. Black people don't inherently have an issue with each other. We don't. Black people are over here scrapping for scraps. And we are in a sense of urgency. And that's when violence occurs. That's when crime occurs. You can look this up anywhere.
And so black people participate. Some of the first slavers in the United States of America was black people.
Ask him, did they treat their slaves how white Americans treated their slaves? No.
That's the truth. So what I'm trying to understand is,
Was slavery in the United States before?
slavery existed thousands of years before we got here.
Okay.
Slavery was on every single continent in this world. That's a fact. Now, the thing that's a problem with it is that, and this is the problem that I have. What you niggas want?
What do you mean when you say what you need?
What do y'all want?
What
Like,
do you want?
because
Anton, you've gotten bank loans before. What do you mean? Anton portrays that he's this self-made guy or whatever, and he does have hard work ethic. He does. He knows how to put teams together. I'll give him all of that. But Anton is the type that says, what do y'all niggas want? Y'all want reparations? What do y'all want? Well, the reason that we know that reparations are valid, I'm not a subscriber to it. You know, I say get it out of the mud, stop waiting on them to give us anything. But the reason that I understand the concept of it, they give it to the Jews. How's the Jews' situation any worse than African Americans when African Americans are still suffering at the hand of the system in America? So
y'all complaining about it over and over again, and I'm trying to understand what is it that y'all looking for. What is going to help y'all?
Whole thing.
what we're looking for is we're looking for people to be empathetic when they see us acting a complete fool in society. Some of us, those of us who it's apparent that that person can't be helped because that person is behaving like that because of what was done to them, what was done to their parents, what was done to their grandparents. The 1994 crack epidemic that came through, I call it the father snatcher. But the only difference is that thing snatched fathers and mothers out of the house for 20, 30, and 60 years. And it wasn't done to any other race in America. Anton Daniels and Charlie Kirk, they all subscribe to the notion of the damage that occurs when a child does not have his father in his life. Now let's talk about going to prison and all of that where you're even further traumatized, right? Let's talk about getting strung out on that thing that they pump into your system. See what white America has done. It created a monster, right? But over time, they saw the damage that that monster could do, and now they don't want to play with us anymore. That's exactly what happened. If you look up the elements and the circumstances and environments that are needed in order to create a broken people, it will refer you back to what black people went through. The ghettos, the redlining, the pumping a highly addictive substance into our neighborhoods, causing us to fight over scraps. I mean, you can look all of this up. Jobs intentionally being withheld from blacks. Not only that, in certain environments that are predominantly black, jobs not being put in those areas, right? All of this is systematic. People in Chicago have reported waking up to take their trash out, going out, and the first thing that they see in the alley is a crate of those things that you don't even know the names of them, up to date, so that they can wipe each other out. Who do you think, when black people get crates of things, we sell them, right? So who do you think is giving GUNs away just leaving them every year in the alley. Who do you think is doing that? We know blacks wouldn't do it. We would take that crate and go slang those GUNs all over the city and make big bucks. So who do you think can just give crates of assault away? Okay? So that I think that's what African Americans are asking for. We're asking for some sympathy, right? I don't think we should lean on sympathy, but I do think, like, when I see African Americans do like even with black women, when I see them do insane things, I know she's one of the ones that didn't recover from what we went through, right? The one, you can tell the ones who are seriously damaged from the ones who are just acting ignorant. You can do better. You're just acting ignorant. The reason we know is because you show up to work and you act better. You don't do that stuff in front of Joshua. Let's go.
What has happened?
Because these is new niggas.
So are you saying black people in the United States, some of them have skipped over racism?
Yes, definitively.
Come on, man.
Definitively. You have a greater chance of being killed by somebody that look like you than to ever interact with somebody that don't look like you and kill you.
But do you
That's a
understand,
fact.
Do you understand that it's made like that on purpose? The position
It's the system.
the
The system
position
against
that-
us. I got it.
Okay, but the position you and your people are in.
Who was my people?
Okay, so you hear Anton, he said, oh, here we go with the talk of the system. Well, the system really exists. Whites in power don't deny that the system exists. You can look this up. There's a system in place to keep African Americans from advancing. There's legitimately, you can look this up on any platform. There is literally an economic system, unfair trade policy system, unfair judicial system system in place to keep things unfair to us. I mean, who doesn't know that? They're trying to overpeel laws right now for because they're unfair towards blacks. So yeah, and that's why I know, like, Anton doesn't want to believe these things, because you can look these things up. You can look them up. Blacks and Latinos are 15% less likely to get house arrest for the same crime with the same criminal record as a white person. Come on now.
Black people, do you claim black people?
I'm a Christian first. I claim.
Well, I think something's wrong with that. If you don't want to say you're a black man first, I think something's wrong with
Black
that.
is a construct. They told you that you was black.
Okay, well,
that's
brown.
why you start
Brown
believing it.
then.
No.
Maybe
We
I'm
not brown. We not black. We not none of that shit.
Oh, well, what are we?
We not none. For me, I'm a believer in God. That's what I am.
Yeah, but even God has separated his people. I don't have any issue with Anton saying I'm a Christian first, but even God has markers to identify his people. Even the tribe of Judah, even the chosen people of God, right? They're a certain color and they come with certain characteristics, certain colors, things like that. Now, so we got to be identified, or else I can go around calling myself white. Imagine how many problems that will cause for me throughout my daily interaction.
My foundation is always going to be Christianity, Christ, Jesus first.
And I'm going to say this. The issue that I have with this is Anton doesn't live his life like that. Anton talks like he has hoes, right? Now, I don't know how true any of it is. I don't know how much of it is cap. But if he's married and he's still talking like this, you can't be put. This is what I'm telling you. This is the issue that I have with Anton. This is it. I need you to be one way and stand on that. Your life can't say that you're the opposite of the way that you're saying to us today. We know, you know what a follower of Christ is. And if we're being honest, the Bible says every idle word that a man shall speak, he shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. Anton cusses like a sailor. I'm not saying that you know people going to hell for cursing. I just know the characteristics and the identity of a true follower of Christ. You see people move and how Jehovah's Witnesses move. Like, these people are actually doing work. I don't know much about the Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, but I'm telling you, these people are withholding substances from themselves. They're not drinking. They're not doing any coping DRUGSs, right? They're abstaining from sex. Anton talks like he's got hoes, and I think it's a disgrace to his wife. I don't want to be in their personal relationship business, but, you know, I just know that Anton moves a certain way that I'm not going to say, ooh, that's a Christian right there. He appears to have structured certain foundations in his life that he attempts to be his core principles. I can see he tries to follow some principles, but I see him get away from them sometimes, right? We have no business talking about other women saying you got baddies and you got hoes and things like that, because if it is true, you're in the wrong. And if it's not true, you're making your wife look bad.
I don't claim none of that other shit. You're not gonna get me to believe in you based off of some shit that you can't control. You didn't pick it. And the thing about other cultures, whether you're black, Chinese, Asians don't fuck with each other just because they're Asian. Chinese people and Japanese people and Taiwanese people, they're all different. Koreans are different. All white people don't fuck with all white people. So why do I have an obligation to fuck with somebody just because he black?
Okay, now that's tricky right there. Like, why not? That's where the power comes from. That's where the strength comes from. You don't believe me? Look at the Latino community. It's where their strength comes from. If you removed every Latino person in the Latino community who is solely that closely knit to their community, because those people share the same color of them, those people share the same culture as them, if you removed the ones who are there just for that specific reason, you would see chaos unfold. You would see unorganized people. They wouldn't be as united as they are, because most of them, their allegiance come from acknowledging this person looks like me, this person speaks Spanish like me, that's one of my people. And I think Anton really tries to get away from being black sometimes. I understand we do some messed up things, but I think Anton tries to get away from being black.
And then the definition of how you define black is based off of something that a white man gave to you.
Okay, well, trust me, brother. You white people, let me tell you something. I know Caucasian people that have looked at me and threw me licks. But I am from Chicago.
And I'm from Detroit.
It was Chicago is very segregated. I knew nothing about Caucasian people until I moved to Los Angeles. And a lot of the stories I heard, it turned out to be just that. But back to this Christianity, you have to understand this. You were taught that by the people who kidnapped you. Is that a lie?
Nope.
Okay, so
We was taught everything that you have in your heart, it was taught to you.
you say I'm racist?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I studied you.
See, this,
Wow.
I studied you.
this is why
Where
I
am
want
I racist? I don't.
I think people would find a difficult time proving black people to just be inherently racist. I think people would find a difficult time establishing that. Black people have certain views, have certain precepts that it's a response to racism. If you hear a black person say something bad about whites, it's not because we walk around just doing that. We primarily have, through historically, wanted to be left alone, right? Go off, start our own communities, it get burned down. We could survive without white America. White America couldn't survive with us. And I'm not talking about resources, because we definitely couldn't survive without the resources. We don't have anything. But what I'm saying is we are the life of the party here on earth. That's just the truth. We don't seek to go around doing damage to each other. If we had our resources in South Central, in Compton, if we had resources, we wouldn't even be taking each other's lives. Every study leads to that.
I know a lot of racism in me, but maybe you can show me something I don't know.
We're going to get there.
Why I wanted
We'll
you
get
guys
there.
to start the show off in your own.
Shout out to Larry up in this situation supporting the show. Pharaoh forced black people into slavery. Slavery has existed since biblical times. There's no doubt about that. I think the thing that was bad about America is what they did to the slaves after they bought them, how they treated them. It was horrific. It's considered. Shout out to my bro Larry up in this situation, rocking with us again. I know he can't be a Christian. He said he believes in Christianity. Elaborate, brother. Elaborate. Let me know what you mean. I know he can't. Don't tell me this. Well, I guess it does last quite a while. I'm going to have to go get my other mouse.
Like,
No,
I
when
don't wanna-
Brother Anton Daniels was talking to me on the phone, I knew that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things,
Yeah,
but
we
I
talked about
believe
that.
we can have a conversation like men. It's like a
Absolutely.
lot of stuff he's saying right now, I disagree with so much. But
Both of us.
I'm going to try to make a point because I have
Okay,
the hopes.
sorry.
I have the hopes in reaching him in a way. You know what I'm saying? I know that ain't guaranteed. I'm not.
And
blind
I
and
have the
stupid.
hopes that I'm gonna get y'all off of the Democratic plantation.
Yeah, because I don't know nothing about the Democratic plantation.
Everything that you speak of, it's a reflection of the same thing that they speak of. So you may not claim it, but you're a reflection of it.
Well, if I reflect something that is this Democratic plantation, I tell you what, I really don't study a Democratic plantation. I try to study being a stand-up human being where when I look in the mirror, I don't see a slick motherfucker.
Correct.
That's who I am.
I'm with it.
I don't like slick motherfuckers.
That's the first thing we agreed on.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad we got there. But I get labeled all the time. I was talking to a young lady on the phone the other day, and she said, "I know you hate the what's the lady who calls herself a doctor? I'm blanking right now.
Oh
Right.
my God.
Dr. Bryant." And I'm like, I don't hate nobody. Where do you get hate from? And then I was on the internet. Every once in a while, I look at the pages that use my likeness and image and everything, and I listened to some of the stuff they said, and I was called bitter, and I don't know how to get money. But anyway, coincidentally, today I'm talking to a brother who knows how to work the internet well and get money.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
So it's like everything comes in its season for a man like me. I don't say I got all the answers to everything, but I am willing to talk logically to people who I feel like are able to communicate. That's what I'm. If you say it, and so you know, I'm like, get the fuck.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, that's your personality too. Like,
And it would be boring to hear just one person's take or views on things. It's
Shout out to AJ in this situation, rocking with us. You heard what my bro said. Get the likes up, people. Stop bugging. For real, for real. AJ in this situation again, rocking with us. Anton seasons his meats with water and raisins. Oh, my God, my God. Let's go.
this makes it interesting.
Excuse me, ma'am. You need a mic, ma'am. You can ask on the mic. Goddamn.
Anton, just a clarifying question. What about, are you comparing racism with prejudice? Is it racist or are we just prejudiced?
no, I think that there's a lot of people that hate white people, like straight up hate white people, and it's very.
That's real. See, this is what I'm saying. Black people don't have a history of hating people. We don't have the history. And I don't know who. Hey, people, I need everybody to @Anton Daniels. I want to square off with Anton. I really want to square off with Anton. Have a respectful discussion. @Anton Daniels in the chat. @Anton Daniels and tell him square off with Stacey Prince. Stacey Prince wants to square off with you. Make me look bad.
Unfortunate because they're not even the ones that's winning over here. We compare ourselves against a group of people that the majority of them is on food stamps and welfare. They would be a disappointment to their ancestors.
Right, but isn't true racism a system that controls access to,
Well, that's the argument, right? The argument is
we can't make sure white people don't get access to certain schools and programs and things like that.
the main way that they
You need to be empowered to be racist, to be quite
But
honest.
see, that's what I was
we'll
going to
get
say.
that.
Y'all,
We'll get to that.
that's the argument that black people make, is that you can't be racist if you can't actually have an impact on another group of people. So it's supposedly systemic. It's false.
Really?
I just seen a guy that used to be the president of the United States of America that wanted to becoming the president of the United States of America for the second time almost get everything taken away from him. Literally. and he was basically being taken.
See, he's using isolated incidences and anomalies to substantiate a point as a whole. That's nuts. That is crazy. Well, yes, black people can be racist. And no, it's not due to the amount of economic disadvantages you can impute upon someone. Because I know someone that it didn't happen to. Anton, stop being childish. Stop it.
Taken down by black people. Kamala Harris, Letitia James, who was the, in New York, Fani Willis, down in Georgia. All of those are black women, specifically that met with Kamala Harris months before they actually started this campaign during the Biden administration. And it's so funny to me because then I have to ask myself the question, well, listen, if this
Through the Fire podcast in this situation, my stay ones over here rocking with us. They said Anton is a grifter. He won't come to you unless he's being paid. See, I have issues with that stuff too. Like, I'm coming based upon my beliefs, right? Of course I'm going to get paid, of course. But there's some people to where if I think we have reason enough to clash, I'll pay for the trip, right? I'll pay for the trip. And I'll say this, I do believe that he's a grifter. Because we've already seen the things he tried before. He tried to be, I don't know why he was walking around in a hot dog. Maybe he had a job, which I'm not knocking at. He was walking around with the hot dog uniform. I don't know why he was doing that. Maybe he was just trying to get YouTube famous. But after that, he was also going into old abandoned schools and things like that. He was trying to pop on YouTube. And then after that, he started giving people hugs for $1 and camcording it. Anton was trying to pop on social media, and he tried several things that didn't work. Grifting ended up working for him.
This is a construct, and if it's all about white people, and all of the energy is going towards a person that black people fucked with before he actually ran for president of the United States of America, but we champion Barack Obama.
Not me.
No. Take yourself out of it. We talking about the culture. It may not necessarily be you individually, but we as a culture fuck with him.
Fuck with who?
Barack Obama and his wife. We fuck with him. As a culture, we champion him.
I agree with that. I agree. Shout out to Max said Anton is the worst kind of beta male. He thinks he knows it all. He just knows some facts with majority of his opinions. He's a fake and a fraud. I agree with some of that. I held the opinion that Anton is a beta male. Well, not beta male, but I don't think that he grew up getting women and things like that. And I also know that he's not a beta male. I don't think Anton would for real let a woman just walk over him. He's too arrogant for that, right? If that's what we're talking about when we say beta male. Now, if you say beta male that didn't do well with women, yeah, I don't think he did well with women. But I will say this, the person who he is now, he's coming into it with the confidence as if he's always done well with women, right? You can do that through being an asshole and it'll come off as confidence, right? But let's go.
We absolutely do. And he didn't give y'all shit except for gay marriage.
You know I know that. That's why I ain't
vote,
arguing with
Anton?
you on this
So
point.
absolutely I vote.
Are you independent? What do you?
I'm a Republican.
You didn't know that?
I'm a I'm a
want
straight up,
I know
up
who he
and
is, but I
down
don't want
Republican. And matter of fact, people need to really understand their history because Republicans were the party of black people. It's the original party of black people. They were the party that actually freed the slaves. Lincoln was a straight up Republican. When you're talking about the emancipation, when you're talking about 1865, when you're talking about what we stood for as conservative mean, right? Regardless of what they stand for, regardless of the agendas that they push, regardless of how much nonsense that we see in our communities, regardless of how many people, how many Democrats actually destroyed our cities from Chicago to Detroit, all across the board. We were taught to vote that no matter what. You
I
vote
agree.
Democrat no matter what.
I agree.
But this is the difference between the parties on a very fundamental level, not complicated at all.
Really? You finna say there's a difference between the parties?
This is the difference.
I can't
This is
wait to hear this.
No. You may say that it's the same type of public politicians that take advantage of the taxpayers and take advantage of the people. The difference in the parties historically is Republicans want less government so you can do what the fuck you want to do. And Democrats want more control, so they want to control what your money is, where your tax dollars go, and what you can do with your money.
Okay, so I'm gonna
That's
tell you
the
this.
fundamental difference.
I'm gonna tell you this. And you don't have to believe me, but I'm just telling you.
I'm listening.
The people in charge are not Democrats or Republicans.
I understand that.
Kamala Harris is allowed to do whatever she's done.
We get that.
This new president, he's allowed to do whatever he is willing to do or they allow him to do.
Facts.
Everything is allowed. There are people in charge of this nation that flat out run shit. And if ain't
Correct.
nobody got the power to uproot them, then
We do.
we're gonna keep having people paying a whole bunch of money for houses and a fire hydrant don't work in front of it, but they'll charge you for the fire hydrant in front of your house.
But we got
Corey talking that talk. He's standing his ground.
less than 20% voter turnout rate in the local elections.
Well, you
The
understand?
local-
You understand voting don't work, right?
It does work.
How?
It does, but you just missed it. We have
haven't
a
missed- I heard everything you said.
We have a
I
less
can't
than-
wait till you tell me how voting
have a
makes a
less-
difference in this country.
We have a less than 20% voter turnout rate in local.
Ain't nobody going for the sucker shit no more. We got to go.
you're missing it,
You got
man.
to uproot the people in power before a real difference happens. Voting is for suckers.
It's not. People that don't vote are ignorant as fuck.
Well, I guess I'm ignorant because I would never participate in no
People
sucker
that
shit.
don't vote- and
I'm
it's
gonna
so
show
funny.
up and vote like a sucker.
And not only is it ignorant.
We had Republican presidents, we had Democratic
You're not
presidents.
even
we in
hearing
the
what I'm
same
saying.
joint.
I'm talking about locally. You talking about national.
I don't give a fuck if
It
it's
matters.
Listen, I need 10 people. We're looking for 10 people to become members of the subscribers of the show. Subscribers of the show means you have access to all of our private content that is hidden in the subscribers chamber. Content that came from when we first started the show. We need 10 people. It's what, $2.99 a month. We need 10 people to sign up to be subscribers to the show today. Let's rock on out, people. Let's go. $2.99 a month. And listen, I want to say this, the same people keep supporting the show, but we have so many more people who rock with the show. Like, listen, you don't have to go nuts or whatever, but we need different people to support the show. The same people support the show every time. If you don't know how to support the show or hit a super chat, look it up on Google or something. It's very simple. Let's go.
It matters.
If you
It
vote,
absolutely matters.
that means you in line.
No, if you vote
President.
It's a
It's
war.
all sucker shit
It's
going
a war
on.
every day. It's just not physical anymore.
Well, that's the problem.
It's
We
here.
need physical wars.
It's not. It's
Until
our
motherfuckers ready to
ignorance.
jump it off,
It's not.
we gonna always be
not.
talking.
It's
But
not.
So basically, Anton is saying that he believes in the American government. Tuskegee Airmen. Like, the American government has done some diabolical things. And I'm sure the American government gave some type of green light in the situation with the Tuskegee Airmen. These people were injected with diseases. Like, Anton is basically saying he's in alignment with the American government. That's interesting.
real gladiators don't talk. Real
No, it's not.
gladiators make it happen. And the gladiators, I ain't gonna lie, we are under control right now. We haven't rose up and did what needs to be done.
Who
But
are you under control by?
It ain't, you under control by the people who will motherfucking blow this motherfucker up.
That he's 100% right, which is why we have to say unalived and things like that on social media. They've changed our entire. If you think that you're not under the control of America, you're nuts. You're nuts. You have been told that you will accept a man poking another man in his booty hole, and you won't look at it like it's strange. You have been told that. You have been told to watch saying certain things around certain people, and you do it. You're very careful. So yes, that's control. Are you crazy?
We ain't stupid.
Who is he? Because I want to know who.
Why do you think that ICE agent was able to shoot that woman?
I want to know who these. Hold on. Let's be real. Fuck that woman.
Well, that's what you would say to somebody you don't know or whatever.
No.
I'm on the streets. I've been pulled over by the police.
Who ain't on the streets?
Or the ICE agents or whatever.
You in LA. I'm in Detroit. I'm in the blackest city in the United States of America. I can move anywhere I want to go. I choose to stay in the core of my city, and I choose to participate in my neighborhood. I choose to tithe to the streets. I choose to put kids through college. I choose to interact and truly use my tax dollars and whatever it is and give jobs.
I told you guys there's something wrong, corrupted with a portion of Anton's belief system. The woman who the ICE agent took her life, man, he just said, fuck that woman. You don't... What could she have done for that to be justified? I don't care if she robbed a bank. She didn't deserve. See, that's what I'm telling you. When he goes left, he goes left.
Employ over 50 people. I put my money in my community with my people. So I choose to engage. So when we talking about being in the streets, that don't count to me. I don't hear that shit.
That's what should count.
I don't hear that
because
shit.
Out there in the streets where the people live that you helping, they could get pulled over and shot by a cop, and an investigation will be said. But here's the truth: we know, I believe you know this already. When the cops shoot you, ain't nothing you can do about it.
God, this is so crazy.
Do you think that's wrong? What I said?
This is so insane.
Is that what I said? I said when the cops shoot you, ain't nothing you can do about it. Is that a lie?
What can you do about it? And see, I'm looking for Anton. I'm watching this thing real time, just like you guys. I haven't watched this thing in its entirety. From what I thought Anton like kind of handled Corey, but Corey is handling himself like for real. Without being politically inclined. He's asking some good questions.
So insane.
But you didn't answer it.
I'm going to answer your question.
Okay.
I'm going to answer your question. It depends on the circumstance. And the interesting thing about it is this. The majority of the people, because you like to use...
But listen, Jaron, it's still, you shouldn't say fuck somebody's death, man. That's crazy. They have taser. Why do you think they have tasers and things like that? And even if she was too far away for that, why do they have a ton of arsenal? It's called deterrence from having to use deadly force. And he shot ahead, which means she was fleeing at this point. Say, how about not trying to run somebody over with the 2-ton vehicle? Jaron, respectfully, if that was your daughter, you wouldn't be saying that. I'm telling you. Usually until we put ourselves in a predicament, we can't feel it. Yeah, I'm never saying fuck somebody's death. I'm probably not saying that. Yeah,
it's a blanket statement. That's like me saying all black people are stupid.
Well, have you said all white people stupid?
No, I'm talking about cops.
You should say that one time.
I'm talking about
because
cops.
It's easy to say all black people are stupid as an example. Say something about the white people.
No. You're not. I don't think you got people all the time.
Well, I didn't hear you. Can you tell me? Because I don't know.
About liberal white women literally being the biggest enemy of the United States of America. That's the thing I say every single day.
Caucasian female, the biggest enemy.
Literally, white liberal women are the worst thing that ever happened to this country.
What about their men?
But we gonna get there because you keep trying to get me to qualify it by participating and joining in on the core.
I think you're doing what's easy.
No. I'm doing what's.
He asked you what are your qualms with white men. Now I'd like for. Listen, shout out to Corey Holcomb. Corey is over here handling his. I didn't even know it went like this deep, but Corey is definitely handling his.
I think you don't want to go against them because if you go against them, it'll be some video of you going against them. And when I say them, I'm talking about your boss.
I don't have a boss.
We say that.
Look at these two coaches.
What the? What just happened?
Everybody.
I'm just saying, I ain't heard you talk about white men since you've been up here.
You ain't been listening.
But you didn't answer it.
I'm going to answer your question, College. I choose to interact and
do?
truly use my tax dollars and whatever it is and give jobs. I employ over 50 people. I put my money in my community with my people. So I choose to engage. So when we talking about being in the streets, that don't count to me. I don't
Well,
hear
that's
that
what
shit.
should count.
I don't hear that
because
shit.
out there in the streets where the people live that you helping, they could get pulled.
You like to use a blanket statement, participating and joining in on the core.
No, I think you're doing what's easy.
No. I'm doing what's real.
I think you don't want to go against them because if you go against them, it'll be some video of you going against them. And when I say them, I'm talking about your boss.
I don't have a boss.
We say that.
Look at these two coaches. Coach on the left posts every single day, gets 47 views.
Where did that come from?
That's an opinion. Here's the fact. Have you said something about Caucasian males and how they
Absolutely.
destroy this nation? Well, what did I miss?
Let's slow down because you talking loud, but you're not saying a lot.
No, you talking loud,
you talking loud,
and you still talking around.
What you
did
trying
the
to do-
Caucasian?
He's not answering the question. Hey, Corey putting that pressure down. Okay. I didn't think Corey was going to be able to, because the clips that we all saw, that's why it's good that we're reviewing this whole thing. The clips that we all saw, it was
Asian male do to America to bring it down.
I'm not getting into that.
You dancing around it.
No,
and
I'm
that's
not.
why
he just admitted that he's not going to get into that. That's crazy. Corey putting that pressure on.
You too busy.
No. You got me wrong.
You too busy.
My capacity,
Because if that's the case,
that you just criticized, that's an opinion. Here's the fact. Have you said something about Caucasian males and how they
Absolutely.
destroy this nation? Well, what did I miss?
let's slow down because you talking loud, but you're not saying a lot.
No, you talking loud.
Anton, he keeps asking you a specific question. Like, seriously.
And you still talking around. What did the Caucasian male do to America to bring it down?
I'm not getting into that.
He said, I'm not going to get into that. Listen, people, we have just heard everything that we've been saying about Anton. Why aren't you getting into that? Because you can't say certain things. Can't say certain things.
Dancing around it.
No,
and
I'm
that's
not.
why I lose respect for you when you start dancing and kissing Caucasian males' ass.
But I don't.
Don't do that in front of me because I'm not an
Corey,
ass kisser
Corey,
of
don't-
nobody.
Yes, you are. You suck the dick of
Will you
black people right now. You doing the easy shit. What you do, let me
Look at Corey's face. He's trying to process. What the hell you just say, nigga? Okay, now I want to skip somewhere and do a little something else. This is Anton's side to it, right?
nowhere. I see where this is going. Let's slow down. Let's go point by point and let's break this shit down. Because we got all night. I ain't going nowhere. I slotted myself just for this conversation. But this is where we gonna get to it. And let me tell you what the blogs missed. But they do that intentionally.
No, you talking loud,
you talking loud.
and you still talking around.
What you
did
trying
the
to do-
Caucasian male
what
do
you
to
trying to-
America
I'm not-
to bring it down?
I'm not getting into that.
You
I'm not
dancing
getting into
around
that.
it.
No,
and
I'm
that's
not.
why I lose respect for you when you start dancing and kissing Caucasian males' ass.
Now, they don't add that part in there. Why don't they add that part in there? Where it start is after he say that. The disrespect was before I ever said anything.
Anton is basically saying Corey said I kissed the white man's ass, so I was justified in saying. But listen, you know what? What we're going to do is I'm going to let you guys go ahead and hear it.
Eating these cherry sours I shouldn't be eating. Because if you go against them, it'll be some video.
Yeah,
I don't
you do.
suck
Yeah,
dick.
you do.
So fix
You're doing
that.
it right now.
After white males. What are white males responsible for in this country as the downfall
I'm an
of
equal
it?
accountability smoke giver. I talk about everybody.
I'm just saying, I ain't heard you talk about white men
Well, you
since
ain't been
you've been up
listening.
here.
You ain't been listening. You ain't been listening.
I've been listening to you.
No, you haven't.
I hear you
don't
taking
have, you don't have the capacity to be able to listen because you're too busy.
No. You got me wrong.
You too busy.
My
Because if
capacity,
that's the-
my
because if that's the
capacity
case-
that you just criticized, that's an opinion. Here's the fact. Have you said something about Caucasian males and how they
Absolutely.
destroy this nation? Well, what did I miss?
Let's slow down because you talking loud, but you're not saying a lot.
No, you talking
you
loud,
talking loud.
and you still
And
talking around.
what you
What did
trying
the
to do-
Caucasian male
what
do
you
to
trying to-
America
I'm not-
to bring it down?
I'm not getting into that.
You
I'm not getting
dancing
into
around
that.
it.
No,
And
I'm
that's
not.
why I lose respect for you when you start dancing and kissing Caucasian males' ass.
But I don't.
Don't do that in front of me because I'm not an
Corey,
ass kisser
Corey,
of
don't-
nobody.
Yes, you are. You suck the dick of
When you
black people right now. You doing the easy shit. What you do, let me tell you what you do. 'Cause
Nah,
see, ain't
homie,
nobody
let me
gonna
tell you something, homie.
Ain't nobody gonna tell you.
I don't
ain't nobody
suck
gonna
dick.
tell you to, yeah,
I don't
you do.
suck
Yeah,
dick.
you do.
So fix
You doing
that.
it right now.
I don't suck
you
dick,
doing,
homie.
You doing it right now.
Homie, believe me when I tell you, I don't
Believe me
do
when
that.
I tell you.
I don't do that.
Listen.
So don't come at me with no dick sucking shit.
I'm gonna give you the same
Let's
energy
switch
you
seats.
give me.
Let's
switch
switch
seats.
seats.
No.
Let's switch
Switch
seats.
seats.
I'm with it.
Homie, I don't
We can
do
talk right in front of each
I
other.
don't do no dick
Hey,
sucking
hold
shit.
on.
I'm a motherfucking man. I don't do no dick sucking shit.
I agree. That is not to be played with at all. That is not to be played with at all. There is no way that telling somebody they suck any. There's no way that can be okay. There's no way that can be okay.
I don't give a fuck about none
Well,
of that
I
shit
tell you
right
what,
now.
watch that dick sucking shit, because that'll go bad.
Call it what you want.
I don't do no dick sucking,
You say a
homie.
lot of shit that I don't fuck with either. You think I
Okay,
give a
but
fuck about
but
what you
that
talking
that
about,
gay
nigga?
shit, oh, you
I
go.
don't give a fuck about what you talking
Hey,
about.
homie, I tell you what.
I'm right here.
Don't put
You
no
switching
dick
seats
sucking
don't mean
shit.
shit to me.
Don't put no
I'm gonna say this. Anton Daniels is standing his ground more than what I expected out of him. I gotta give him that.
dick sucking shit on me, nigga.
I'm from Detroit
Say
right
I
now.
suck a dick again.
I'm right here, right now.
All right.
All right, that's
Now,
what I'm saying.
I'm gonna respect you. 'cause
Dance
it's your
around it.
platform.
Dance around it.
No. I'm gonna respect
I don't do
you 'cause
no
it's your
dick sucking
platform.
shit.
I'm gonna respect you because it's your platform, and I flew out here to have a conversation.
We good.
But
We
you're
good.
not bossing up on me.
Yo,
We good. I
a
did
question for
already.
Anton.
I don't do
Nigga,
dick
we can put
sucking
the
shit.
microphone right down,
Yo.
right now, and go on back. I don't give a
no,
fuck
sir.
about
No,
this shit.
sir.
Homie, you just running your mouth.
I'm not running my
I
mouth.
got a
You
question
running your
for
mouth.
Anton.
I don't do
You
no
doing
dick.
this
Anton said we can put the mics down and go out back right now. I would have had to go. But here's the thing that I think Corey missed. Corey let the hood nigga in him come out, right? Because when he went over there, see, people like Corey, they have to catch themselves really quick after their temper is flared up. They have to allow that thing to whisper in their ear and say, you know you can get sued as soon as you put your hands on him, right? So I think a lot of times they struggle with that. Corey running over there to check him, that was the hood nigga in him coming out. But then you'll hear that voice, if you put your hands on him, you're going to get sued for everything. And so they have to start governing themselves, checking themselves real quick and allowing the situation to de-escalate, because I'm not going to do nothing at this point now that I've thought about it.
Shit for the internet. You doing it for the internet. Now, if you want to say your time, no, hold on. If you want
I'll
to say
show
Anton,
you I ain't doing it for the internet.
if you want to say Anton, listen, don't disrespect me like that. If you want to say Anton, don't disrespect me like that, I'll respect you. But don't boss up on me, because you said a lot of shit to me today that I don't fuck with either. But I let that shit ride because you don't know me. You don't know me. So I'm going to extend the same respect to you. You called me out of my name. You said some wild shit, especially with regard to how
Would it call this nigga out his name?
Nigga, I'm telling you that you did. You can't tell me how I get disrespected.
I got a question for bro.
Okay.
No. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. We just getting loud. I ain't gonna get loud.
Then don't switch seats.
No,
Don't,
this
because
my
I take
show.
That's
This
cool.
my show.
That's cool, but I take that shit as a threat.
Okay, well, it is a threat if you calling me dick sucking. I don't dick suck, my nigga.
Man, fuck what you talking about.
I don't
bro.
dick suck.
If you want to get back to the conversation, because you ain't gonna do shit. Because you're not gonna do shit.
Come at me with that dick sucking
You're
shit
not gonna
again,
do
nigga.
shit. You're not gonna
Come
do
at me
shit.
with. Say I suck dick again, nigga.
We can go
I'll
out back
show you
right
who the
now.
fuck I am.
We can go out back right now. I'm with it.
Here's what Corey should have on his show, because I understand having to be careful. Corey should have contracts at his studio where a person who's talking tough, just a 2-paragraph contract, it relieves any financial liability. That's what he should have, and that'll stop all of this. Go out back and see who's the baddest.
I bet you won't say that shit. We can go out back right now. I got money for all this. Whatever.
I got money too. Don't nobody give a fuck about that shit.
Hey, homie,
No,
look,
it's just not respect.
I ain't falling for that. I ain't falling. Darlene, get out the way. Don't get in the way of 2 niggas. Let me tell you something, homie.
I gotta put this out there. Darlene is so sweet. I gotta put that out there.
I ain't got to go out back right now, because we got to go out back to lead this motherfucker. But I'm saying that dick sucking shit, watch that. That's all I'm saying. And if I don't say it how you like it,
If you want to
okay,
get back to the
but
conversation,
don't-
we can get back to the conversation.
But just know,
I'm not listening.
Hey, Frankie Mac making a good point. Frankie Mac definitely making a good point up here in this situation. God, dog, where's our Frankie Mac juke button? Frankie said, Mr. Prince, if I had hired security, I would be a tough guy too. But how could you flex like that if you're going to have your security break it up? I didn't think Anton to be this type of guy. So maybe you guys are right. Hey, my girl said, ain't no way I'd be in grown men's business. My girl.
None of that
suckers
shit,
up
bro.
here, nigga.
I'm not listening to none of that shit. If you want to get back to the conversation,
Long as you
we can
know.
get back to the conversation.
Long as you know.
Bro, you not.
Everything straight. Ain't nobody saying I'm sucking dick no more. Everything straight.
For sure, for sure. I got a question for bro, though.
I'll say this. I do respect Corey for letting somebody know what his boundaries are. Because you gotta let people know where your boundaries are. Because if you take me there, Hidden Hustle definitely in this situation rocking with us over here on TikTok. My girl, always supporting the show. This is my #1 supporter right here. Over here on TikTok. My girl. My girl sets it off. Look, it said, congrats, Hidden Hustle lit up. Listen, my people over here showing out. Hidden Hustle definitely in the building, always rocking with me. My girl.
And I'm going to respect him on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He
D.Y.
said what he said, so I'm going to respect him on
Junie.
that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, question: given that black people are on the Democratic plantation, what do you say about the use of Christianity to make slaves out of black people? How do
And
we
what,
become
today's
Christians?
time? Or his
Shout out to my brother Ask a Brother podcast in this situation, rocking with us. Hey, man, I would really like to get your take on this, man. I'd really like to get your take on this, man. I was thinking about you when I saw this.
Historically.
Yeah, absolutely. It was used in a negative way, but anything can be used in a positive or negative way. You can weaponize literally
Hey, listen,
anything.
y'all need to go check my bro's channel out too. Ask a Brother podcast. Got interviews from Charleston. I mean, he got interviews with everybody. Just Pearly Things, Charleston White, Daily Wrap Up Crew. My brother's out there and he's on his way. You know what I'm saying? So go over there and check his show out. He's got stuff just like we do. Same type of content, lifestyle, and things like that. Damn.
Corporate America, for example. You can use the internet in order to push out propaganda, or you can use it to communicate effectively with the people. You can use money to manipulate people, or you can use it to help people. And so you can't just say that Christianity itself is used. The Quran is used in a negative way in order to control people.
Absolutely.
So
I agree with Anton to that point. It's not that Christianity is bad. It's what some people have tried to utilize Christianity to do.
So it depends on the person, and that's why we evaluate the person based off of their fruits instead of evaluating them based off of Christianity
I respect what he just said. Like, you evaluate a person's faith in God by how you see them moving. But see, Anton defies that a lot. He just offered to walk a man out back. I don't know what's up with Anton. I'm not saying a Christian shouldn't defend themselves, because, you know, I would.
Itself, because
Right.
everybody that calls himself a Christian is not a Christian.
I agree.
100%. So I agree that the teachings of Jesus are pure. However, in the hands of Caucasian white males,
That's not true, because I know some good
the
Caucasian
teachings
white
of
men.
Jesus,
And I know
they
some
gave
bad
us-
hands up. Fuck the conversation.
Well, how about this? People may be ready to do something for whatever reason. They want to be ready to do something. But what I'm saying to you is, you know, in this world, they are trying to normalize men in dresses. They trying to normalize a woman wearing a thong in front of a church.
Hey, Jeff, the
gathering
link is down
or
there right
whatever.
beneath you.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? I could handle whatever is happening out there, but I'm saying, like, I'm still standing on this. I'm
with
standing
you.
on this. If a man walking up to me with some homosexual talk, like, I could take, I said this before, I could take a meeting at a brother like Tyler Perry's house, because I know what's gonna happen
I agree.
if it go bad.
I agree.
The house gonna get tore up. I ain't saying that to act like I'm tough. I'm
No,
just
I
saying
feel you.
there's certain things that we as men cannot.
Corey said I could go to Tyler Perry's house and not be tripping about what take place, because I know if nigga brings some gay stuff to me, the house gonna get tore up. I can identify with that.
Say to each other without clashing. And it is my opinion with niggas that I know and where I'm from, if we, like, if I say
Hey, Jeff, you having trouble with the link again? Let me see something. No, okay, I got it on.
one of my homies, man, suck a dick, everybody will get quiet that we know. And they'll
Yeah.
be like, what is that?
That I agree. I agree, definitely.
What's going on, man?
What's going on? It ain't letting me. Hold on. I ain't used to this. What's up? Ask a Brother podcast, definitely in this situation. Rock it with us.
What's going on? What's happening? What's
listen.
happening?
Like I told you guys, you need to go lock in with his YouTube. Brother got interviews with everybody. I'm not even about to name everybody he got interviews with. Just Pearly Things, Charleston White, Daily Wrap Up Crew. Go rock with him. He talks about a lot of the lifestyle, success, business, dating things that we discuss, right? Get your ears
Yes,
full.
sir.
Get that mind right. What's going on with you, good brother?
I cannot complain, man. I just got off an interview with a live with the smart guy as well, and
Okay.
you know, I haven't spoken on this whole Anton and Corey thing, and as soon as I pulled up your joint, I've been watching. I said, "This is crazy to see, man. This is crazy to see."
How
Oh,
much of it have
man.
you watched so far?
I watched and listened to enough throughout the day to know, in essence, what happened. You know, from my vantage point, it looked like obviously it appeared like there was a little friction beforehand, like before they
Right,
finally
right.
linked up, right? And I think Anton kind of probably came in a little, you know, just being mindful, little on
Right.
guard, you know, in terms of how Corey was going to approach it. And then Corey just started shooting shots like from the very beginning. He was shooting some shots, man, when it came to like talk, basically without saying it, he was basically calling Anton like a sellout who never holds white people accountable and always selling out to the white man or whatever. And you know, from then on, it seemed like Anton was like, "All right, I'm gonna match your energy, I got you." And you know, and that was the strangest thing where it's like Corey could easily see the ways in which when Anton would say
You almost
certain
about to disappear, bro. You almost, I think you're let me see. Your focus. I think I don't know if it's gonna make you
Mhm.
disappear or what. Let me see
Let me
something.
see. Not sure. You want me to try to hop off and come back on?
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
Okay. All right. Let me sec. Mm-mm.
Is that? Because it's like, that's that homosexual talk. So what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying? If it's one way to get a brother like me, I know brothers who are preachers that would put their religion down for that right there. That's all I'm saying, black man. That's all I'm saying.
Listen. That's what where you at. So I'm gonna respect that.
Thank you, brother.
It's simple as that.
I don't want no drama.
It's simple as that.
I swear I don't want no drama, man. My life is good.
Mine's is too.
I believe you. My life is good.
I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't want you to come up here for that. It's just the simple misunderstandings that we as men can have. I think older black men like us need to make sure there are boundaries that simply can't be crossed when men are talking. And if you tell me a boundary, Anton, if you tell me a boundary, I promise you, I'm going to do my best.
Listen, there's no city where that sucking a DIC won't get you murked. You can go to Alaska and get murked. You tell somebody that. I don't think there's anything higher. I don't think there is. Why is it doing this? Okay, I guess I can't do that. Dang it. Let me try something again. Let me see.
I don't take boundary.
Okay.
When I'm talking to Willie D don't like when you call him nigga. And I go out my way not to call Willie D nigga because I look at him as a man.
I kick it with Willie too. For me though, I don't give a fuck about the talking. I don't have no boundaries. I don't care if a nigga say something about me. It is what nigga.
What the?
I care about is what happened in real life. When I cut that shit off in real life, my life is great.
Right. Let me tell you something.
So my point is that I don't take nothing personal unless it get personal, unless it gets physical. That's the only thing I'm up on. Anything else I can walk away from. I don't give a fuck about that. My life, I could walk away and I'm probably gonna never see that person again.
I understand. This is why the chat, I allow them, and in fact, I encourage them to be themselves in the chat. Because this is a computer screen. But one thing I will say this is to the youngsters especially, because they the ones who really don't know. I'm talking about 35 and under. When you in a man's face, you have to watch how you talk to them, because face to face is a lot different than the computer.
Listen, brother Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, what are your thoughts on that, man? Like men telling each other to suck and what are your thoughts on that?
Well,
but hold on, let me say it correctly. He didn't tell him to do it. He told Corey that Corey was sucking the black man's,
Yeah, the first thing is, if you disrespect a man, if you tell him that he sucks up the white people, if you tell him that he's a sellout, or use all the words that kind of insinuate that, you can't disrespect a man to his face on your platform and then act surprised when he says something back in kind or worse. The goal of responding is not really actually to match energy at all. The goal of responding is to end it. And that's what Anton attempted, I think, to do. And I do think that if Corey had maybe come with slightly different energy, I wouldn't have been surprised if Anton tried to match him that way. But once yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I was gonna say, once you name call, man, once you bring up somebody's family, once you talk about they a sellout, once you cross any lines or boundaries, you can't dictate and decide and choose what their form of response and their form of disrespect is going to look like.
I think that's already been decided. I think that's already been decided.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Where it's like you can't call me out or say whatever you want to me, and then think you can also choose how I'm going to respond to it. And
no,
I think
I'm saying I believe society has already dictated. Like, listen. I think what you're saying sounds politically correct, but society has dictated that sucker thing that is not to be done.
No.
That's not to be done. Like, listen, you can say something about my daughter and things like that, but listen, society has already determined that when you say something about sucking, listen, that thing can. It gets
So I guess
different. It gets
my
different.
question is this: if society has decided what's supposed to happen when a man says that to another man, did that happen?
What do you mean on this particular incident?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it
Did it happen?
escalated. It escalated in I ain't gonna say two celebrities. One is if you can get a celebrity to escalate like that, it did. It escalated. It did.
But that's the point I'm making is once you say something to another man, he may say the thing that does cross that line. Now you get to decide how you'll react and respond to that. You can get in his face. You can sit next to him. You can sit in his face and say it again. You could put hands on him. There's a whole host of ways. And Anton understood what probably will come with that.
But
Which is
listen,
why
let me. I'm asking you directly. Like, what do you think about a man telling another man that about that suck cock stuff?
that man is ready for whatever the response is going to be. If that makes sense. Some people are on that type of time. And I think what happens is periodically there's this thing of like you got the social media fake people, right? Like they just talk all big on microphones, and then you got people who say these things in real life in front of people. When you say this when you say this in front of people or to someone, they get to then decide how they're gonna react and respond. Corey could have handled it a number of different ways. He just chose to handle it. Yeah, he chose to handle it in a way where he can get his words off. He can sit in front of him, but it didn't lead towards anything beyond that. And it could have, and maybe other people felt like it should have.
Jaron says,
Mhm.
you got to be a bigger man than that. I don't give a damn. I don't give a think of. You got to be a bigger man than that. I don't give a think of damn, but any what anybody says about me or to me, just don't put your hands on me because And you know who I think adheres to that more than anyone? Successful people who have something to lose.
Yeah, it's a thing where there are legitimate people. You see it with the Karens. You see it with Karens when they get ready to threaten to call the police, where they're weaponizing just what's being said. And what I'm basically getting at is from obviously Anton shouldn't have went to that degree, but like I said before, if I'm going to disrespect you, I can't decide what your response is going to be to me. It could be physical, it could be words, it could be a threat, it could be anything. Corey decided that was how he was going to handle it. And for me, they were both able to walk away from it. It got contentious, but it's two brothers that they get to go home now. Versus one of them getting arrested or worse.
Yeah, but I think I'm asking you your personal opinion about that.
Yeah. So the younger Jeff, would all I need is words, and we gonna do something.
Well, I'm talking about that specific phrase. Like I'm asking you. Hear what I'm asking you.
That's what I'm saying. If you said that to me under 30 years old, furniture gonna be moved.
Yeah,
I don't care who you are. I don't care who you got around.
That thing's dangerous. That
right?
phrase right there, that thing is universally dangerous.
But
That thing is probably dangerous when it's said in Chinese.
But when you're older, when you have more to lose, when you are successful, acting like a teenager or early 20-something-year-old young guy that has no real assets, has no real anything going on. This dude's trying to make $10+ million a year. He ain't got to do nothing but just use words with Corey and vice versa with Corey. They're both rich. They're both doing well, and they left it at words. But if you take that to the real world, outside of the cameras, I wouldn't have been surprised that it would have got physical. It goes like that.
Araya says, Corey is my man, but he didn't buck up to Cam Newton. The internet is not a real... I don't know if him and Cam had no energy. Him and Cam didn't have that type of energy, I don't think.
It wasn't on this level, no.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's what... Let me see. Listen, people, if you want your comment read, hit it with the super chat. Other than that, let's get back to this.
Let me ask you a question.
Motherfuckers saying all kind of shit about me on the computer. Let me ask you a question. But if they in my face saying that to me,
let me ask you a question.
It can go bad.
Why?
I'm not saying I'm not acting tough.
No, hold on.
I'm not acting tough.
I'm asking you a real question. Why do you get triggered if somebody says that to you? Like what is it in you that gets bothered by a switch?
Okay, so listen to me.
Listen, I want to use that as a moment to ask you a question,
Mhm.
brother.
Mhm.
When I heard about this debate, when I heard it was going to take place, Corey actually held his own more to what I thought. Like in the whole beginning
Mhm.
up until now, he held his own.
Mhm.
He was asking good questions. He was making sure that he tried to make sure Anton couldn't evade, and he held him down until he
Mhm.
asked those questions. Now, when I heard about this debate, I said, okay, there's going to be a little trouble here, right? I understand. I understand Anton. Listen, say what you
Yeah, yeah.
want, but Anton's not a dummy, right? Okay, he's
Uh-huh.
actually intelligent, and not only
Yeah.
that, he's educated himself in the things that matter to him, right? Now, when
Yeah.
I heard that this debate was going to take place, I said I thought that it would not be in favor of Corey Holcomb because Corey Holcomb
Mhm.
is more of intelligent, right? Anton
Mhm.
Daniels is intelligent and he's educated himself in certain arenas, right? So education can sometimes destroy intelligence. And here's what I
Mhm.
mean. If I
Mhm.
bring my arsenal of intelligence out to where I'm educated on certain matters that you are more than likely not, then I can
Mhm.
get into a whole different discussion. I can use a whole
Mhm.
different jargon and conversation that I know you're not equipped with, and it will make it seem like you don't know much, right? Anton is
Mhm.
probably educated on a vast array of things. He's probably
Mhm.
educated himself, probably from real estate to
Mhm.
political views, right? So I thought that it was going to be bad for Anton. I mean, I'm sorry, it was going to be bad for Corey in that arena. What are your thoughts?
Mhm. Based on what I watched, based on how I used how they used different argumentative, tactics and strategies and everything, I actually saw a major gap between how Anton was approaching the conversation and how Corey was approaching it. One throughout seemed to kind of be much more reactive, emotional, operating out of emotionalism, and Anton seemed to only do that at one specific point.
Right, right, right.
Um, and the problem with that is that if you're making a lot of emotional responses, emotional arguments, you're not going to be logically consistent. And I think what was happening was Anton repeatedly was pointing out. This is the difference between like chess and one person's playing chess and the other person's playing
Right,
tic tac
right.
toe. That was actually what was going on. Anton, I think in his head, I'm gonna be honest with you. This didn't look that surprising to me. I think you said it yourself. Like you knew it was gonna be a little fireworks. It seemed like Anton was waiting for something for Corey to say to justify why it was he was going to throw a little
Oh,
shot out there.
you know that. You know he was going like Anton. See,
Yep.
the issue is this. Anton,
Yeah.
it's always a plus when you can control yourself. It's going to
Mhm.
always be a plus. And Anton
Mhm.
already came in knowing what arsenal he was going to use, right?
Yep.
He was going to hit. You see, in the beginning, he said,
Mhm.
Corey Holcomb said, "No, we're not going to get into this politics and stuff. That ain't what we're about." And Anton said, "No, but we could touch on that."
Mhm. Mhm. And
Like,
and
no,
this is
I
the
brought a
difference.
Uzi for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is the crazy part. Anton's been talking about politics pretty consistently for almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
With a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds and
He's
different
been on
opinions.
Fox News a couple
Yeah,
times.
yeah. So when Corey's throwing out these shots, it's like none of the shots that Corey is sending out were things that Anton hasn't worked through, hasn't
Right.
debated, hasn't had an answer for. And the days of like you're a black man, so you can't speak on black people, and you can only talk about white people thing. Like at some point, like that get old. When you free, you can talk about anybody. You can talk about white people, black people, gay people, straight people. You can talk about who you want.
Not
And
really. Not
again,
really. You can't talk about Jews and you kind of can't talk about the gay. Listen, people go so far as to say the GAY community. They don't say the
well,
word.
so I'm gonna be honest with you. That's a lot of fear. And then number two, Corey, and this is the thing, when you're trying to dictate what another man can and can't talk about, that sounds insane. When you
But
like, well,
they're
you don't talk
doing it,
about white
brother. They're
people.
doing it. Me and you know how far to go with we know what it took to build our YouTube channels up, and we know how
Mhm.
far to go, to be honest. That fear that you
Well,
speak of,
listen,
is that fear justified?
well, what I'll say this, I've spoken on those topics. But it's the way in which I strategically talk about them that's probably different.
Hold on. Why are you using strategy? You know why.
Well, that's my point. Well,
You know
that's my
how far
point.
to go.
Yes, because I'm not a dummy, right? We ain't stupid.
Right,
Uh,
right, right.
uh, But the point I'm making is if we slowed down and didn't just react as an audience, if we didn't just react to just, oh, they arguing, oh, they yelling, oh, they talking about sucking this or sucking that. If we slowed down and was like, there was one man in this conversation that was repeatedly trying to tell another man what his opinions needed to be, what he could speak on, who he could talk about, and who he could address. And the other man being like, I can talk about this or talk about that, and I could say who I want on this platform or any other. That's what I saw was the power dynamic that was happening in real time. One guy thought things should go a certain way, you should move a certain way, speak a certain way. And the other guy says, whether I do or don't do it how you see fit, I'm my own man, I can still do that.
I
And when that
disagree.
power,
I think
yeah.
both people, their objective, like even Anton's agreeing to come to this platform was to challenge Corey's opinion. I believe when two people do this, that both of them are trying to change somebody's thoughts. You know what I mean?
I can agree to that there's a difference between us having a back and forth about our views and opinions. It's another thing to tell a man, this is how you need to move, how you should speak.
Give me an example.
When he said you don't talk about white people, you need to stop talking about black people, you need to start talking about white people. And Anton's like, first of all, I do talk about white people. I say the worst people in the country is white liberal women that's destroying everything. So, and he's like, nah, but what about them white men? All right, so you keep moving the goalposts. So first it was, I don't talk about white people at all. Then I say, I do talk about white people. I talk about white people all the time, and they happen to be liberal and white women more often than not. All right, well, what about white men? So I was like, all right, so now you're dictating how this man needs to do political commentary, talk about populations, talk about groups. And when he's giving you pushback and showing you that you're contradicting yourself and that you're actually not telling the truth, rather than just own that and say, you know what, you right, X, Y, and Z. Instead, he's doubling down, trying to basically pigeonhole this man to say, you only talk about black people. You never talk about white people. And in essence, you're a sellout. And Anton's taking it personal and giving pushback and examples that shows, if I'm selling out just the white people, why am I calling out white people simultaneously?
But hold on, check this out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but a lot of people, I understand what Corey was doing. A lot of people have been wanting that answer from Anton. A lot, like when he says something about like, where's the smoke that you have for whites? He was really trying to get into the thing about white men right then and there. But Anton brought up white women. Everybody, not just Corey, a lot of people, myself, we've been wanting to know, okay, do you have anything to say about white men? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah. No,
I think it was a problem when Anton said no. Like, that's a problem. See, listen, here's why people want to know. And I don't think he's like me and you, Jeff. We both have to navigate our shows. We have to moderate our shows, right? So if you're getting away from that very key thing, I believe that that's 90% of the whole show. That one question right there was what Corey. I've heard a lot of people. It's all over the internet. People want to know why aren't like with all the. I did a show about it. Matter of fact, but it was directed towards Anton and Charlie Kirk. With all that white men do. You can't find any type of material to do on that because I was able to. Like, it's crazy. It's a lot. It's a lot. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think it's a fair question that I think people could ask in terms of how balanced is he, right?
Because that establishes your motives.
It can absolutely establish that. And this is the thing for me personally, as somebody who's also watched a decent amount of his stuff, I see a drastic difference between how Anton and his panel talks about a liberal white people, men and women, versus conservative ones. I think he has no problem with conservative white men or white women. I don't think I think he literally views them as just, unless they treat me wrong or do say something crazy, I'm going to just treat them like a regular human being. He definitely has a very negative, he thinks the worst liberals are liberal white women, but he absolutely brings the smoke for liberal white people and liberal black people.
I've never really seen him come at whites like that. Like, because I watched some of his content. I had been checking him out when he was fully invested in the Lapeef network. And I don't mean invested like monetarily. I don't know about that. But I just, found the show interesting. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about, listen, Jeff, I'm talking about the real stuff, man. I'm
Mhm.
talking about the real stuff that we know is taking place, man. I'm talking about how black people got the way they are. Like, why aren't people talking about that? Like, when I see black
Mhm.
people acting a complete donkey, there's a small portion of me that says, well, they were affected. Like, bro, there is nothing
Mhm.
else that you'll ever see like the 1994 crack epidemic, right? That thing carnaged us. That it like
Mhm.
I saw it firsthand. Like it what it did to us, it set up generation after generation. Imagine if you take one generations of mothers and fathers away. You say you touch this white substance and we don't play that. 50 years.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
the children
Mhm.
that they had before they got those 50 years, now those children are left wandering to figure out life alone. And guess what they're going to
Mhm.
do? Get pregnant
Mhm.
without thinking, ooh, I need a father attached
Mhm.
to my child. No, they're out there buck wild the whole time that mom and dad is doing 50-year sentences. And guess what
Mhm.
their
Mhm.
children is going to do when their bastard children grow up? It's going to be a cycle. And we already know
Mhm.
Charlie Kirk and Anton and myself has talked extensively about how children come out when they don't have a parent, father in their life. And some of them didn't have both. Some of them started raising themselves. So I think that's what people want to hear. Like, to just
Yeah.
assume that black people woke up one day from an 80% marital rate and said, you know what?
Mhm.
We want to be diabolical losers. That's crazy. Let's talk about where it came from.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, the big extreme, whenever you talk about politics, especially people that self-identify as quote unquote liberal or conservative, what you're usually listening for is how far are they to one extreme or the other? Do they put everything that's happening to black community past and present strictly on we are on official victim status where we have no agency, we can't make any positive changes, we can't do anything different? Or is it on the other extreme where racism doesn't exist anymore? And
Hey,
and
hold
and
on real
and,
quick, Jeff. Hey, we don't
yeah.
do all caps down there in those comments. We don't do
Oh
all
yeah.
caps. It's not going to get your attention anymore. That stuff leads to you getting blocked. So chill out with the all caps, people. Go
So
ahead,
the
bro.
whole point I'm making is that when people are listening to the Antons, anybody who doesn't vote, move, and act like a normal Democrat, they're looking to see how far on the spectrum are you when it comes to denying or acknowledging that racism or systemic racism still exists. Today, based off of Anton's language and the things that he states, it seems and sounds like he doesn't really see it as much as on a systemic level. He sees maybe it happening on a specific individual level here and there, but by and large, his argument's going to be, I could become a millionaire, so can you. We can go to school, you could do X, Y, and Z. And his view is he's referencing his life and the people in his circle in his life and seeing what we're capable of if and when a lot of those hurdles either don't happen or aren't as bad as maybe people make it to seem.
Okay, I want to say this to you. I want to know, have you ever thought about this?
Yeah, what's up?
I don't know why, man. I don't know why my mind wandered here probably years ago. I don't know why.
Mhm.
Maybe I think it was a deficiency I had somewhere, and maybe whenever I would get jobs, it would take me a long time for some reason to catch on. If it's a
Mhm.
system that's in place, and then once time I caught a DUI, man. I ended up in jail with a really cool dude. His name was Keith. He
Mhm.
was from Detroit. That was the first person I had ever met who couldn't read. Like, cause I've come from a
Mhm.
place where we don't really have that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But my point is this to you. Brother, have you ever really even attempted to jump inside the minds of some really messed up people and just contemplate how they, like, I have a cousin, and I have a
Mhm.
nephew. Like, we don't expect anything great from them because they don't have the capacity. What
Mm.
we tell people to learn, we tell these type of people to learn how to read and things like that. We tell
Mhm.
people who don't know how to form the thought of the steps that are required to start learning how to read. I
Mhm.
believe some people go blank. It's the reading and comprehension levels. A lot of these,
Mhm.
the cognitive skill set, the reading and comprehension skill set, the problem solving skill set. These are real things that start developing once we hit a certain age in life. They start developing. But the
Mhm.
studies show a sense of urgency living like that. If those skill sets start getting interrupted, you will be half adequate. I believe this. Brother, you think a lot of the stuff we see these people doing, you think they
Mhm.
would do it if they had their wherewithal intact like African American women when they go into
Mm.
Walmart and stuff? I believe
Mm.
these people are excuse me. I believe these people are gone. Like, just look at look, I'm telling you.
They just
Bro,
give up on people. Damn.
listen, look at what we see them doing.
Mhm.
Look at African American women. Listen to their beliefs that they talk about online. They'll tell you
Mhm.
there's nothing wrong with having 3 children by 3 different men. They're bragging about getting trained. Man, these people are, and my point is this.
Mhm.
I hope he's not watching this. Jesus. Okay, I'll say it like this. I have a family member. I don't expect anything good from him. I don't think he will ever see $10,000, $5,000 cash in his life because of the things that we see him normally do. He's a good person, but it's
Yeah.
like he can't make good decisions, right? What
Mhm.
percentage of people in the African American community would you say fall under that banner?
I'll separate it between male and female. Um, for the percentage of males that's as bad and cooked and there's no point of redemption.
Listen, hold on really quick. Let me put this in for you too. Think
Yeah.
about the guy who it took Nipsey Hussle's life in broad daylight. I'm talking about even the guys who will do that with his no thinking and they don't care if they go get life. I want you to put that in there
Mm.
too, that mentality.
Yeah. Funny enough, I think a couple of things are happening, man. One is I think we take sometimes like when you work in the hood, when you've been living in the hood, when you've been working in the hood, I think what happens, like when you're in the hood and bad shooting happens, right? Usually it's not too many people on the entire block that's actually doing the shooting. It may be 2 guys shooting it out. And everybody else on the block is just hiding and getting low and trying to survive and wait for it to be over, right? And I think people, oh, that's a dangerous neighborhood. So now people think like the entire neighborhood is bad. And I think what happens with us is for both our men and our women, when we have these examples of people who are acting very ghetto, embarrassing, rude, and ratchet, it's not usually the entire store is full of black people all acting wild and out. Now that has happened in Philly a
I
couple
feel
times with
say.
Walmart and Wawa. So there's the exceptions to the rule, especially the dumbass high schoolers, right? But generally speaking, every day it's not 30, 40, 50 black people doing this shit. It's usually 1 or 2, and all the other ones that shop there that day didn't do it. And so if I had to put a real percentage based off of that context, for the men, I'd probably say about 10 to 15%.
Lord Jesus Christ. Lord.
But let me be honest. I think that you're right that our women have normalized and accepted the behavior of the debaucherous behavior in such a way that I'm going to throw a figure out there. I think it's about 40% for our women right now.
Okay. Okay.
I think it's about 40%. And the reason why is much of our men that are problematic in society and culture usually end up dead or in jail. And much of our women that are like that, they're not as likely to receive sentencing. They're not
Right.
as likely so they're much more likely to remain in the population. Right.
Uh, uh,
So that's why I think the percentage for them is way higher in society than even the men, because I think the men, by and large, that are hurting themselves, hurting each other, hurting our community, can't get it. Just, it just, they can't read, can't do this, can't do that. And then they're
right,
out there
right.
wilding out.
And
They
see,
end up
that's
in
what I'm
jail.
saying, brother. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to think, bro, could you imagine knowing that you don't know how to read, man? Do you know what else that would do? You would pick up the loser mentality. Like, how do I start learning how to read? And if I try to go tell somebody who can help me, I don't want nobody making fun of me, right?
I'll be honest with
Listen,
you,
a
man.
lot of our people
Yeah.
are in listen, bro, I don't think
Mhm.
they can think their way. Okay, so let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Do
Mhm.
you think, let's be honest, brother, let's be honest. Even as
Mhm.
far as your capacity, do
Yeah.
you think that the average person in Philly, has your level of intellect, brother? And it's not about being arrogant or
No,
anything.
they
I'm
don't.
talking about capacities.
No, but they don't need to. That's not, you know, that's
Okay, but
not
you
that's
said
not that's
Anton
not
looks at it like I became rich, you can become. That's my argument. I don't believe that. There's a reason why there's a 20. They're called the 25%. only roughly around 25% are able to take themselves to the threshold of high-level success. There's a reason the rest of society becomes consumers. They can't
Yeah, but
even.
there's a difference. Yeah, there's definitely but this is my view, and this is where I will agree with Anton. I've learned that if everything that the left and Democrats and liberals are stating is legit, it's white supremacy everywhere, everything systemic racism, we're all victims 24/7, and there's no way out, then what? Then what the fuck you gonna do? What we
No,
gonna do
I don't.
then?
Okay, so listen, watch this. Check this out.
Yeah,
Do you believe
yeah.
that I could possess even? I've already done it. I've already made success, right? So, do you believe that I carry a victim mentality? I'm going somewhere with this. There's
No,
nothing,
like
brother. There's nothing I can't do. There's nothing.
no, and this is my view with you and people like Anton, myself, and others. We're trying to take advantage of the opportunities that's presented in front of us, and we're trying to move in such a way where whatever is out there, whether it's oppression, whether it's bad policing, whether it's racism, or you name it, we're trying to figure out how to live life in such a way to where that impacts us as least as possible.
Okay,
There's
let me
other people.
push
Hold
this
on.
in.
When I say flip it, there's other people who have the exact opposite perspective. It's because of the system. It's because of the man. It's because of this. It's because of that. And I'm like, if we're anywhere in the middle of that, we're going to try to make progress and address these type of issues if they pop up.
So, do you believe a system doesn't exist? Let me pull this up real quick. I'm gonna show you what
I
the
do.
white man's internet says.
So I'm going to say I do, but I also think that it's not exactly how we're framing it.
So
So-
do you agree that if I pulled this up on the internet, it goes into detail. It talks about which institutions are being funded to keep blacks from advancing. Now, my question in asking you, do you think that I'm a victim? Okay, so we say that victims usually hold these views. If you can assert that I probably don't have the victim mentality, I think that establishes unbiased in me having these claims. I'm not a victim. Why would I say there's a system in place? I'm not a victim. Why would listen? A driving force behind this, bro. I remember I couldn't. It was a job, man. I don't know why they kept me. It was probably DEI. I don't know why these people kept me on. Like, hey, man, I'm ready to knock on HR door. Like, hey, man, what the hell wrong with y'all? Why didn't y'all fire me yet? I couldn't get the system, brother. And there was other people coming in. They was just getting the system, and that helped me to understand. Some people are in that thing in all arenas, right? My nephew, when they found out I was moving to LA, I heard that he was, getting involved in some things that's not even in his nature. And I'm like, nephew, listen, I'm leaving. I can't keep no eye on you, but man, I want you to do better. I don't want you to think that this is it for you. You know what I mean? You can build anything that you want to build, man. Bro, you know what he said to me that changed my life? He said, Unc, I don't be getting those ideas that everybody say you be getting. And bro, it humbled me because these inventions, things I've built, they come naturally to me. Naturally. Bro, I can go on a tangent right now about any topic that you drop in front of me. Pretty much any. I can go fluently, right? Yeah. Where did these abilities come from, bro? Right? I know it's not normal. I know it's not. So my thing is, everybody doesn't have that stuff. Everybody, way I was not getting those systems at that job, there was other people getting it just like this. And my point is, I believe, man, that there's a large scale of people who they don't have the capacity that Jeff St. James has, brother. They don't have it.
Nah. So what I said before is they don't have to. And this is the point I'm trying to make. When you go back to the time period that you're referencing, when we had higher rates of marriage, higher rates of single two-parent households, we also had higher rates of illiteracy. And what I'm suggesting is that when we were having to be more self-sufficient amongst ourselves,
I agree.
There was a space in place for everybody. You weren't tossing out the Booker T's that were good with their hands, right? You found the space for the intellectuals, for the corporate class, for the bankers, for the business owners, from the laborers. Everybody had their role. Everybody had their cog. Now, what happens is that as time went on, as the population in America exploded, different groups are coming in, and there's much more competition. And we've been fully integrated to where we have nothing of our own.
I agree
You're now
1,000%.
trying to, yeah. So when you're entering into a system that has historically been adversarial against you, historically has burned down your towns, has historically drugged your communities, has
Right.
historically done all these things, has historically weaponized the justice system and is making money from the prison to school, school to prison pipeline. All these things are happening. And simultaneously, what I'm suggesting is multiple things are happening at the same time. Everything I just said, everything that you said about the study that you could have just pulled up and showed all these things that are happening,
Right.
there's a whole bunch of us that's aware that this is happening.
Oh,
And
so you do believe that it's happening?
What I'm suggesting is, I think three things are happening when it comes to quote unquote the system. I think the system is rigged for those that are rich, number one, especially the extreme wealthy. I think the system is rigged for corporations.
Okay, got
And
you.
then I think the system is rigged against people who are at the lower substrata of the economic system in every single country around the world. It just so happens that historically and potentially presently, things have happened to why, like you said, there's a multi-generational effect that's resulted in why our net worth is so much less than our counterpart or white counterparts.
Hell, I'm gonna get rid of the show. We're gonna go ahead and rock out.
Hey. So all I'm suggesting is, all right, if you know what the system is and you can't change it as of now, right? We're not going to socialism. We're not going to communism.
I
As of
think
right
I'm
now,
about to fall right in alignment with you. I think I know where
yeah.
you're
So
going.
if you know what the system is and you know what the rules are,
Okay.
and people can pull up articles that says this is what's happening, this is what's happening, this is what's happening, and your ass decide I'm going to smoke crack anyway. Your
Okay.
ass decided I'm going to still do this anyway. What I'm suggesting is in my family, where I had guys that got bodies and I got people that got doctorates. Each of us grew in the same family line in the same era, and we all decided different things. Our
Okay,
interests,
got you.
our wants, our desires. In America, it's not that racism doesn't exist. It is that a lot of choices that we could take, we don't until it's either too late or we learn the lesson so late that we just have to pass it on to the next group.
Okay, hold
If
on
you
though.
think, yeah, go ahead.
Now, see here again. I do agree with you. Like once we see, I thought that you. So, are you acknowledging that a system is in place solely for Black people? To be honest?
Multiple. Yes, yeah, and I'm as clear as possible. Yes and no.
That's
I
not
think that there's two, and I'll say why. I think there is a system for rich Black people, and I think there's a system for all other Black people. I do believe that rich, insulated, wealthy people like Obama, people like Kamala Harris, people who are in the political spaces, the boule, they have an entirely different frame of reference to a lot of things.
Okay,
All
hold on.
right.
Just let me ask you.
That doesn't mean that if a cop pulls them over, oh, you're different. A cop may recognize that they're famous, or the cop may not. The cop
I
may
don't
see
think
them
I know
as
what you're saying, bro. I don't think I know what you're saying. Like, because I'm
what I'm
trying to get. Do
basically
you believe
saying
a
is
system in
classes.
place or no?
Okay, I'll make it as clear as possible. Classism is just as much relevant as racism.
Okay, but classism you can overcome just by sheer grit. You can't overcome being Black and being hated for it for no reason.
Yes, but I'll say it this way. If I do what I'm supposed to do over the next 5 years, I may not be here arguing with people in America about how racist the country is to begin with. I'm going to go to another country that's a little bit more accepting. So my responsibility to myself and my family is to figure out how economically, independently, individually, I can put us in a position where we have leverage, flexibility, options, and we're not waiting for a system in a country to change. Because what we're doing is we keep talking about how bad a system in a country is towards us versus what it is we're going. If it's as bad, if it's as expansive, if it's as everything that we say, either you're going to stay and accept it, stay and try to fight against it, even though you claim it's this all encompassing thing that's just so impactful that we can't do anything about it, or we take the things that we can in the system and extract the resources we can and get the hell out.
So listen, I'm asking you, do you believe that there is a mega system in place designed to keep to put a ceiling on the advancement of the African American community in America? I'm talking about a money, specifically a money-funded system that a specific amount of money each year is going to this institution, that institution, with the sole thing of dismantling the black community. Do you believe that exists? Do you believe
Yes.
that crates
Yes.
of GUNs
Yes.
are being dropped off in alleys in Chicago?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But not to the degree that it was in the 90s. And
But
not to the
I don't
degree
care
that it
about
was-
that. I'm just trying to see,
No,
do you believe
because
that there's something in
the
place?
reason why I use the reason why I use the degree, and reason why I say it's not, although it's still there and it's still happening, it's not happening to the same degree, is because if it's happening less than it was during Jim Crow, that means we have much more opportunity than we did back then.
You said that means we have less opportunity now than we did back then?
If systemic racism, if blatant Jim Crow, where open discrimination, where you could not get a job, you could not go to certain establishments, you could not get an education in certain areas, you could not walk into certain areas. Now you can in most areas around the country. Most of us that want a job do have a job. We may not like the job we have. We may wish that we could get promoted and we don't. We may get overlooked because of the color of our skin, a whole host of things. But what I'm saying is even if systemic racism exists, even if institutionalized racism exists in various different ways in different organizations all around the country, if it isn't happening to the same degree that it was 30, 40, 60 years ago, that means we have more opportunity now. You have black people living in Portugal.
I mean,
You
that's
have black
called
people living in
evolution,
Mexico.
though, brother. I mean, I think you're trying to get around evolution. Like, that's
No,
just
because
evolution.
the point I'm making is if I'm not worried about being hanged or hung, if I walk past police 98% of the time and I probably had 5% of negative interactions with all the times I've interacted with them, if I've had a white man say he wants to hang me, and I've also had white people give me promotions, that's more where we are today, where it's not all we have no options, we can't proceed, we can't make advancements in life. You know what's a better answer for you, and I think what's going to answer it much more easily for what you're trying to ask me. It is easier for us as black individuals to progress than it is for us to be allowed collectively as a group right
Hold
now.
on. What do you mean easier?
Yeah.
Are you saying that there's a system in place to keep us from collectively moving as a unit?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah.
Listen, you should know this, and I think you do. Brother, I'm so far away from a victim mentality. I
Of
pride
course.
myself in being a very impartial man. Like, there's a goofball down there that says Stacey looks for every chance to criticize. Man, the first 30 minutes of this show was giving Anton props, right? So I'm a very, very impartial man. I believe that Anton is intelligent. I believe he knows how to weapon. I believe he's a grifter. You know what I mean? You can believe good things, like, because we've seen it. We saw his evolution. We saw when he was dressed up like Anton was trying to pop on social media. He was trying to pop on YouTube. He was dressing up like the hot dog guy, which, if that's his job, I'm never knocking nobody going to work. I don't care. I'm never knocking that, right? I don't know if it was. I think maybe he was trying to pop, but then that didn't work, and he started scouring abandoned buildings, and then he started giving me a hug for $1. I believe grifting is what worked, right? Because literally, it's what worked opposed to the other ones. So I don't have anything bad to say per se about Anton. My thing is, I'm a man who deals strictly in logic, facts, and historical data. This is how we get to where we're going, right? I believe I don't think I have a victim bone in my body, brother. Like, because I can what I'm capable of. The sky's the limit, right? My thing is this. What I'm saying is, the people, I think oftentimes your knowledge, your intellect, we can get caught up in just assuming that other human beings have that, when could it be that you're just an exceptional human being, right? When we're talking about these systems that have been put in place, there is a reason, brother, that when white America, up until current of the last 15 years, when white America started experiencing its opioid epidemic, do you know they went back and restructured all of the laws that decapitated the black community? Once that substance came through, they restructured the laws because they know that thing, what we did to the blacks, we do not want that happening to the white community. And to me, that's a part of the systemic racism. When you can utilize laws penalties, the penal system, that's systemic. It's called
Yeah,
the
like the
penal
the Asian
system.
the Asian hate crime bill, right?
I
DACA.
agree.
So what I'm saying is so you can see instances when different groups get different things, especially to help their respective group. Israel gets it, DACA recipients, the Asian hate crime bill, et cetera, and how there rarely is unique, specific things for our group. So that's why when I say collectively,
I
they're
got
not
you.
trying to do anything for us, but
I agree.
individually, yes, you're
I
doing
agree
what you're
with what you're
doing.
saying. I agree with what you're
Exactly. So
saying. We
that's
can
why I
pull off
said yes
anything that
and
we
no.
want to.
Yeah, so that's why I said yes and no, meaning like on an individual level, I can actually accomplish and do a hell of a lot. But on a collective level, a lot of policies that other groups get, we don't get. And I've learned and noticed and observed over time is even if we try to do that, every historical group that's tried to do it from the Black Panthers and earlier, you saw what happened. They get infiltrated, they get compromised, somebody gets paid off, somebody gets assassinated. There's different things happening. So what I'm basically suggesting is I think that individually, if we look at the rules of the game, if we avoid the pitfalls of the things that we all keep saying,
I
oh,
agree.
if you're doing this, if you're doing that, if you're carrying a gun that you know you ain't got no business carrying and you ain't got a license to carry, if you selling dope in the spot and you choose to do that, you know what comes with that territory. You
I
might end
like
up on a t-shirt,
I
right?
like her.
So that's where I'm at.
There's somebody down here, Dr. Claw. I like her. I like some of her concepts. She says Dr. Claw speak. Her name is Red Cup Podcast. She
That's
says
Mika,
Dr.
yeah.
Claw speaks on this is because you have no political capital. I've been saying that. Like if
Mhm.
we had our own political, listen. Here's what I say, and we do have it. We just won't reroute it to where it needs to go. Our women,
Agreed.
if I'm not mistaken, generated $73 million for Kamala Harris in a week. If we really were to do it the right way, we wouldn't have to
Mm.
vote for any of them. We could vote for our own system, our own
There you
panel. And
go.
I've spoke to you about this before, you know what I mean?
Yes, you did.
We have no
Yes, you did.
business even in these people's race because if we're complaining about the rules is rigged, let's create a situation to where we don't feel rigged. You see what I'm saying? She's
Boom.
definitely right. She said
Boom. Shout out to Mika. Yeah.
she said giving 92% of your vote to one party doesn't help. It's insane. Listen, here's my issue. We've been voting Democrat since I've been alive.
Bro, listen, be
And when
careful.
you
Be
ask them,
careful.
listen, when you ask a Democrat, I've done it
Mhm.
on here several times. Do you know the political, the fundamental beliefs behind being a Democrat? Bro, 100% of the time they said, well, Granny said that's what we was. Listen, woman
Listen,
on
bro,
here day before yesterday, bro,
once you
said
do
she
this,
voted for Kamala because
bro,
Kamala
it's
looked
the
like
idea,
her.
bro. They donated $1 billion to this lady's campaign, and she overspent.
Yep. And Donald Trump had to turn
So,
around and look out for her.
so listen, you can tell everybody can talk to me about systemic racism. People can talk to me about oppression. They can happen on different ways and different people in different situations. But I also saw us raise $1 billion in
Yep.
an era where everybody was talking about the cost of living
Yep.
for a politician that didn't win and didn't manage it. So
Yep.
what I'm suggesting is we can spend 90% more of our time on the racism and the this and the that. I do know that when we have the economic part and we have the defense part, we can take that concept and apply it anywhere.
I agree
Here,
1,000%.
abroad, South America. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. In Nazi Germany, right when the war was about to end, do you know where a lot of the Nazis ran to?
Hmm.
Argentina.
I
If
did
you
not
go
know
to
that.
Argentina today, there's a German colony and town where they speak German, where they only allow German people to work in, and they have an entire community where they worked it out with the Argentinian government, where a whole bunch of Germans and people who are high-ranking military personnel and family are living, and their descendants are living there to this day. Now, in 2026, when black people are still talking to me about how racist some white people are and how racist the system is, while we all still making money and giving $1 billion+ to a political party that ain't delivering on us in 60 years.
I agree,
For us to succeed.
1,000%. That's the issue that I have with it.
So listen, while everybody else is talking about the systemic this and systemic that, y'all can keep doing that, and we can fight and advocate and approach things in the different ways we can with that, or we can figure out to take the economics and money that we're making, that we're spending for these campaigns, for this hair, for this nails, for these
1,000%.
shoes. Like, imagine if we took the energy we put on how much racism exists and affects us on a daily basis and put that towards being fiscally responsible, saving and investing and reinvesting our money with each other for the next 5 years.
I agree
Now we're
1,000%.
not debating about we ain't got no Chinatown. Now we got our town.
Listen, so here's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because I think that this is key. I think this is probably what a lot of people are having a misunderstanding with. I believe this. I believe what you're talking about is black people shouldn't be depending on leaning on the victim mentality. I don't want to say the victim mentality, but leaning on and constantly talking about what what is going on with us, opposed to, okay, we acknowledge it exists, but let's do this to combat it. Is that where you kind of are?
It is absolutely that. And if the system is as broken, rigged, corrupt, and as racist as you claim, why are you still dependent on it as much as you do?
Okay, I understand where so here's where I guarantee you a lot of people think that when they hear like Anton Daniels and when what I understood from you at first, I think because here's a slap in the face. I think people think that you are saying kind of forget about everything that blacks have been through and still go through, because that's really like a slap in the face. Because listen, bro, if we're gonna be honest, white people are superior to us. I don't care what you say. They have different in America. They're superior to us. And there's nothing that we could do to do anything about that. We would have to start over somewhere else, bro, because this system, it's ingrained. You know how I know that it's ingrained? I would do it. You think I'm going to assist somebody in becoming a formidable opponent to me? And black people are amazing. Lord knows what they could do if I took my foot up off the...
They saw it. That's the crazy part. They saw it. So that's why I'm saying, from a collective standpoint, they never probably want a black town. They definitely don't. You know what I'm saying? Because again, if we did that in mass and redirected our resources and money to stop funding all these different industries and just our own, we see what happens when black artists that want to get their rights to their music, what happens to them?
I agree, bro.
When it's their product. So I'm very much aware of this type of stuff happening. I'm saying, if it's happening, if it's as bad as we say, if the system is as broken, as rigged, and as corrupt as it is, maybe we need to start moving and imagining a realm where our political identity, our economic identity, and our ability to live in, like you said, can't be dependent on the system we keep saying is what it is. The system was never designed for us to begin with.
I agree. I think that's what people want to hear. People want to hear that you acknowledge that it's taking place. Like it's very offensive. Like, so I have done a show a couple of times that is based upon research, and the title of the show was "Research Suggested Whites and Blacks as a Collective Can Never Be Friends," based on the measurement of what defines friends. You know, being able to have empathy, like, you know, with the things that blacks have been through. Listen, oh, hold on. Was that you? Okay, when I did that thing about Charlie Kirk on my thing, man, I didn't even know I had so many white supporters or followers on Instagram until I did that thing. And man, I started seeing, go back to your old content. That's what we're there for. Nigger and all of that stuff, bro. All of it. So what that suggests to me, man, is you can't do it here. You have to do your own. Right? This is a real system that is in place here. And when you color outside the lines of that thing, listen, they spray painted nigga on LeBron James's gate out here in LA. You see what I'm saying?
Gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this from my humble opinion. I think a lot of people are looking at this situation in a binary way. It's either we all gotta leave or we all gotta stay and just suffer.
I agree 1,000%, bro. Listen, or stop talking about it.
To me, that's black and white thinking. And I'm not one of these people that assumes that there's only two options or two choices. I think what's actually probably most advantageous, and this is the things that a lot of the guys that's been coming on my channel, especially the ones like the Dave Andersons and the many others, it's a multi-tier prong approach that we've made the same mistake on. And I'm gonna spell it out from the past till now, real quick. Booker T to W.B. Du Bois, two perspectives, debates and arguments. We felt like we had to make a decision. All right, we're gonna go with WB, and we left the trades behind.
Okay, right.
Then when you get to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, one style says we need to defend our own, have our own, build our own, and the other says we need to get integrated and be able to get access to better quality X, Y, and Z. And we saw what happened.
I agree.
Today, you have this chasm between black people, and I'm going to say between those who identify as black independents or libertarians or conservatives, and those who identify as black leftists, liberals, etc. One is overly wanting to reform a system, and one is wanting to remove as many tentacles that the system has over their lives. What I'm suggesting, and then even the thing you just said, we either got to go abroad or we just got to stay here. Imagine a hybrid where we have options, where we have places abroad, not just in Africa, which is 20 plus hour flight, but also maybe in the islands of South America, where we have land, territory, resources, maybe slightly friendlier governments because we're bringing American dollars. And now imagine if we got rental spots out there. What if we got spots for our students to stay at? What if we got spots for retirees? What if we got spots where we're putting corporations or organizations there where we can ship goods back to the States, where we can bypass Amazon with our own stuff from Haiti. Right. We can have stuff underground. What if a lot of our stuff here is underground, and what if we do the same thing here that immigrants do that come here and ship all their resources and money back overseas? So instead of this whole the system is rigged, everything's broken, I'm gonna say it again. If you white and you broke and you living in the middle of the country, you ain't taking advantage of the opportunities of what capitalism and the system is designed for you. If you American, you can say all this stuff, or you could do what Stacey Prince is doing. You could do what Jeff is doing. In fact, you could get a trade. You could learn how to drive. You can do deliveries. Y'all cannot listen to the American dream of the American ideology that says when you turn 18, you gotta be on your own and you gotta struggle. When everybody else coming from overseas, they live together until they get married. So what I'm saying is there's so many things we could be doing, both here and abroad, both in South America, in the islands, and in Africa. And rather than just thinking it's all or nothing, black or white, imagine a world where we take your mind, Dave Anderson's mind, Dr. T. Hassan's mind. We have so much intelligence that's separated and scattered. What if we coalesce, figured out what's our role, what's our path, who do I need? And then every 6 months or 3 months, we giving updates on what our progress will be. How you know we ain't got 5-year plans for a bunch of us? There's a lot of dudes my age younger who we ain't. It's not that we don't acknowledge racism do or don't exist. Many of us have
It sounds like that a lot, though. It sounds like that, literally.
I'll say this. People will put more energy and time into wanting to hear about somebody talk about the existence of racism.
I agree.
Than doing something about escaping its clutches. Too many Democrats, too many liberals, too many leftists want to talk about how everything is broken and wrong and keep trying to change the system that they whole history has told them is never going to change enough for you. So while everybody else want to talk about that, so when Anton says what he says, when Mika says what she says, and I say what I say, y'all can call me a sellout. Y'all can call me a whole host of things. Y'all words don't, just like me acknowledging racism exists and systemic racism to varying degrees in different industries exists, still don't change your life. Still don't change what's in your bank account. Still don't change your ability to retire your family.
I said that when they were talking about the late great Kevin Samuels. I was like, because they were talking about Derek Jackson and this and this and that. And I said, okay, my thing is this. When you wished that man to leave this planet, when you doubled down and danced after it happened,
Mm-hmm.
you were still a single mom. You were
Boom.
still 200 something pounds, right? You didn't fix nothing. That's the thing. Now, see,
Exactly.
I'm in complete alignment with you. The reason I say it's one or
Sure.
the other is because when I say it's either stay and complain about those things or stop complaining about it and get to working, is because when you hold the mindset of stop complaining about it, you'll start
Mm.
working. That would be the
There you
only
go.
feasible reason to say I'm done complaining about it, is to get to work doing something. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
my question
Yeah.
to you is this.
Mhm.
Shout out to all my people subscribing. I told you guys I want to get 10 of us subscribing to the show. Rock with us. Don't forget, you guys see my brother is about his wits. Ask a Brother podcast. Rock with him. You know what I mean? Go on over there and tap that subscribe button. I think all of these things, you guys
Mhm.
shouldn't be looking at them from entertainment's perspective. I think me, myself personally, I have some entertainment, but I mostly subscribe to things where I believe I can get some life-changing information, different way of thinking, something that can get me better than where I was at yesterday, right? So yeah, go
Mhm.
over there and subscribe to my brother's show. The question I have for you is this.
Mhm.
Well, I'm seeing it with the pastors who are talking about the skit Drewski did. There's pastors literally cursing, like, and I'm gonna say it, fuck that bitch ass nigga in the pulpit. Now, the same way I've always questioned, how can these people go to this church? We know that they're
Mhm.
sheep, right? And it's
Mhm.
the same thing that I'm wondering, bro, because I'm not a Democratic or a Republican. I'm a go-getter. You know,
Mhm.
I see some points in both. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
how I want us to only touch this briefly.
Okay.
How can these people not see we've been doing this for 60 odd years and I can't name really any amazing things? Like, this what, because my
Mhm.
whole family is Democrats, man. If you say
Yeah. Yeah.
something about Republicans or anything, they get offended, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
How
Mhm.
how how haven't our people seen, or yeah, basically tell me what you think the mindset is of people who could do that for 60 years and still be doing it?
So, the smart guy I just interviewed, he said he calls it the slave consciousness, and I'm going to start using that. And when we talk about Juneteenth, right,
Right.
and how there were these slaves who were emancipated, they were technically legally free, but mentally weren't aware of the option for them to be able to leave.
Mm,
That's the case where a lot of people, when it comes to spiritual awakening, political awakening, relational awakening, economic awakening, they haven't had their Juneteenth moment.
I agree. My band Will
So
Fit
they
said
feel,
indoctrination. I agree.
yes, indoctrination, propaganda, conditioning, fear tactics, the media, psyops, the crabs in the barrel mentality.
I agree.
All of these things have shaped us to think that, and again, we've been trained so well as seals and as sheep to where every single time somebody says the things you say or I say in these circles, they've been trained to go in the attack mode.
Right,
And the
right, right.
worst part is they've known that if they can tap into our emotions and they can control us emotionally and convince us that being a Democrat and being black, being a Democrat and being Greek, being black and going to the church are all synonymous and that it's all part of your identity. So that when you critique any of those things, you're now attacking not just that group or that community or that ideology. They see it as a personal attack against them. So that's what the training and the conditioning and the propaganda has done is it's convinced the overwhelming majority of the people that look like us that it is a personal attack against their identity when you critique or criticize a political party, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, the church, a different particular, like you name it. Once you start nitpicking, critiquing, saying what's not being efficient, what they could be doing different, they're now seeing it as an attack against them because it's not just that they take it personal and it means something to them. They are a functioning adult that's been moving and living and voting and giving money to these things for years.
Listen,
So So they now feel like if you were to attack that and expose that, you just reveal to them how foolish and they've been all this time. And most people would rather be fooled than they acknowledge that they have been fooled.
I want to say this.
Mhm.
I'm going to come strong at you here in a minute.
Go ahead, yeah.
The way you just described most Democrats,
Mm.
can you agree it's way worse with Republicans? Specifically, you could lose your life. Like, it's like this thing, listen,
Oh, okay.
this
I get what
thing
you're
is
saying.
very serious with conservatives, man. Like, on a violent level, a
Mm.
person like, do you
Mm.
think that, and I understand everything that you just said about Democrats. I agree with you.
Mhm.
I don't have any pushback. But it's something different about conservatives. It's almost like there's,
I'll explain it.
as they're
Yeah,
talking to you, there's fire involved in it. You know what I'm saying?
I'll explain it. I'll explain it twofold. If you've ever looked at any data on this, there's actually substantial political diversity on the right. You have libertarians, you have, just fiscally conservative people, right? Like there's people who are pro intervention abroad, there's people who are anti one, and there's people that's more nativist or nationalist. It's all it's a huge spectrum of political diversity and thought, and there's a lot of infighting and going back and forth with what that means and looks like. The problem is on the left, there is no diversity right now. It's either you believe the current trend of what the standard is for what classifies as a woman or a girl, and who's allowed in whose bathroom in terms of what you can speak, who you can and can't talk about. So it's not the same in the sense of who's more likely and allowed to have a difference of nuance, perspective, or opinion, because it's very obvious the right has that, where you have the Candace Owens of the world, you have the what's his name, the Nick Fuentes of the world, you have the more moderates, you got the Kelly, Megyn Kelly, you have Tucker Carlson. They have radically different views, and they all exist and they're all eating, and they all have their respective camps.
Okay.
On the left, there's one script right now. And so now when you say the violence aspect of it, well, as long as people don't count, this is my issue. I have no problem with saying that there's violence on both sides of the political aisle. I just think that it looks a little different, and how the media talks about it is very different.
So
So
you
for
think that
instance,
they're anywhere close in aggression and violence? You think those two parties are anywhere close, or do you think one is significantly, like, a little bit more fired up when it comes to these conversations? Which would you say
I'm
is
not
more
interested.
fiery?
Okay, oh, yeah. I'm not personally interested in who's more fired up or who has more emotion with respect to that. If I look at tangibly, who have I seen weaponizing um violence against their political rivals, weaponizing censorship, using various bureaucratic establishments to try to shut down opposition,
I'm
keep
talking about
people.
violence, though, brother. I'm talking about, like, aggression and violence.
Yeah.
Jeff, you
After
serious?
20, I'm dead at no, and it's going to sound crazy. Listen, but when I spell it out, you're going to understand why I say that. So, I, growing up as being a leftist and going to those socialist meetings, and I'm talking like PSL in city of Philadelphia behind the scenes. So I was looking and talking to actual anarchists, actual socialists, not this shit y'all be talking about on. So I'm talking about people who's about that on the left. And when I was looking and listening to them and seeing what it is that they were capable of doing, and then I saw what was happening out in culture and society, there's been a shift in the last 4 to 5 years where my entire life I would have had no problem being able to say the right white males, they own the monopoly on political violence. Absolutely. I
And
would have
you
said
saw
that all the way
something
up.
and you saw something that changed your mind?
Yeah, 2020, when in 2020, I saw a few things happen. The first thing that I saw happen was in my own city, in my own stores that I was going to, and even at protests that I went to, I saw a lot of people who were coming in on the side of the left and were using that as an opportunity to vandalize, to steal, to commit violence. and a lot of them weren't right leaning at all. They were a
What type
part
of
of the very
violence? Give me an example of the violence.
property destruction, theft, breaking into
But
stores,
listen, on
attacking
some
store owners.
respectfully, I'm talking about violence. I'm really talking about bloodshed.
Even then, I saw this. So again, now people can say what they saw or didn't see in their respective cities. But what I'm saying is, if you're a part of a political organization, and if you're getting grafted in and going through the membership process, and you're in the protests, you're in the things in the weeds of it, and I'm basically saying is, there's an underbelly of left leaning communists who have the same mentality about violence and the justification for violence as people on the far right. And I think one of the issues is that it's the same thing about the conversation about racism. If you view it through a black and white lens, you're going to do everybody on the right, or the right, they got all the violence over there, and we ain't really got that on the left. And the reality is, Donald Trump probably, all these political assassinations or attempts to do so is at this point coming from both sides. You got as a black male today, I'll say it differently. Unless you're in the weeds of what actual communists and socialists are doing on the lower levels, if you're not connected with PSL, if you're not connected with Antifa, then perhaps there's a reason why maybe you're kind of lowering down the view and the frequency of how much leftists are actually committing violence right now. And on the right, from what I've seen, a lot of it is like, Proud Boys, white nationalists, white supremacists.
And where do you think they're positioned at?
Believe it or not, again, there's a spectrum with them. You have people like Nick Fuentes who has no problem talking about the things of what he's advocating for on the behalf of white people, and he has no track record of violence against anyone, and a lot of people will call him a white supremacist or white nationalist in many respects.
What do you think he would be if it was between Democrats and Republicans?
He's Republican. He's a conservative. He identifies as that. But he's also not violent.
I want to jump away from this real quick. It's not. I don't really think that people have problems with people like Anton Daniels because they're Republican. There's some people who are like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm a Republican and I'm running around doing alms deeds and feeding the shelter, I'm a firm believer in even rumors come from someplace. I believe in rumors.
Okay.
I believe if they say y'all was having sex, if a lot of people are saying you were having sex, and I'm talking about random world, you at least kissed. You know what I'm saying? But okay, so my point is this: when we hear Anton Daniels speak, I think we all want to be able to believe in the people who we hear speaking. Like there's inconsistency. So he says that he believes he did a podcast with a guy from California out here. I forget what his name is. But he was talking about, I am what most black men should be in the pillar of the community, in the black community, things like that. Now, all right, I'm going to... Turbulence, people. My question to you is this. I've heard it on several occasions. Anton Daniels alluding to the fact that he has baddies. You know what I mean? Even how he talks about this girl... Is it Mika? I think it's my Miller.
You talking about Red Cup, who you just popped up? That was Mika.
That's Mika. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to say maybe it was Mika. It's a name like that. But this is somebody who's special to him, right? Now, when I'm listening to people, I'm listening to their integrity. I'm listening to you because I'm listening with the intent of applying your information to my life. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so when I hear him saying things like the guy, I forget who he was from. From California, but they were going back and forth really strong. He was telling him he could hook him up with hoes, like he got baddies and this and that, and how good he is with women. Now, my thing is this: the issues arise when you always push that you're a pillar of the community, what every black man says. But Anton is married, right? Anton is a married man. I was flabbergasted by hearing this conversation because it's true, you do have hoes, which is bad. And if you don't, it makes your woman look bad, right? Do you
Mm.
believe that we have, I'm not saying everybody, I just want to straightforward. Do you
Mhm.
believe that people who do what we do have a sense of duty to kind of live what we're preaching?
Yeah, but I know I don't control reality, right? Like we would love it if every single person that spoke on a microphone lived out what it was that they were espousing and stating and how they were moving, right? And because I know her personally, I'll speak to this in general and why I have the view that I have about their dynamic or whatever.
I'm not even necessarily talking about her. I'm talking about when he
No,
says I got
but I'll tie it in.
baddies.
Yeah, but I'll tie it in to what I mean by that. Um, when you don't know the agreement between a man and a woman and the confines of their relationship and why she isn't leaving their marriage, I assume that she's okay with whatever their agreement or arrangement is, or why she's still with him in their relationship. Meaning, like women in our era, in our country, right now, women are the fastest ever at filing for divorce,
Hmm.
so they can leave at any time. So whatever situation Anton has with his wife, she ain't leave yet. She's
No, I'm
still
not
with him.
talking about that. I'm talking about what we should be following as the people we're listening to.
No,
Like so broadly.
so
Just imagine I'm listening to him.
so the initial point is a married man being around other women,
No,
whether they're
talking about it
whole.
like that. I'm not talking about being
No,
around.
no,
I'm
no.
talking
That's
about
what I'm
talking.
saying.
Oh, okay.
A married man being around women that could identify as hoes or could be upstanding professional women or some murky gray areas that none of us know about. If his wife is still with him now while he's a public figure, the agreement between them two seems to be secure, whatever that agreement is. When it comes to him, quote unquote, referencing and putting on these other women, yeah, you would prefer, and I would prefer that, he wouldn't maybe like uh, present it in that way, talk about our women in that way, package it in that way, especially on these platforms. But at the same time, you and I know what branding means and what branding looks like. So with branding, you can control your branding and your image by having Stacey Prince behind your name in terms of how you dress, in terms of the caliber of guests you bring on, and also the caliber of women that you surround yourself with, and even men that you're networking and connected to.
No,
So for
listen.
Anton,
I'm talking about
so for
listen.
Anton, yeah,
I don't know if you've heard this. Like I've heard it several
mhm,
times because I used to follow them on the Peef Network, and the
yeah,
things that he used to say, I'm like, no, I rock with this. He talks about how very important family is. He talks big about marriage, big, right?
hmm
Um,
hmm
and he kind of talks a certain way about people who ain't married, right? And I agree
okay,
with a lot of these things, but
hmm
then because we all get busy and we do our own thing, so I hadn't been able to watch the Lapeef in quite some time, probably 2 3
hmm
years, and it's
hmm
like fast forward, it seemed like a completely different Anton. Like he was talking about he got hoes and baddies and he could set dude up with some. So my thing
hmm
is,
hmm
did you abandon the family talk? Because I felt like when he was talking that, it was relevant, it was important, and I stood on him with that. But then it's like this
hmm
guy is talking about I don't even care about the arrangement with him and his wife because here's what I
yeah,
do believe. I believe if you are doing it, you know what I mean?
hmm
He was just on the thing that we had today. I don't know if you saw it, the thing. He was talking about I am a Christian before I'm a black man. I'm a Christian. So all of this got to tie in somehow. Like if you are,
hmm
I even like what he said about I'm a Christian before I'm a black man. I like that. You know what I mean?
hmm
I like to
hmm
hear
hmm
people standing on something. You know what I mean? Deeper than
yeah,
themselves. You know what I mean? So when you
yeah,
say that, it goes to one or two places. Either you were
hmm
telling the truth that you got baddies on call and things like that, which is bad in
hmm
itself, or you're telling the truth, or you're lying about it, which is bad. Like, and it makes it really
hmm
difficult
hmm
for someone to get a gist of who you are. You know what I mean? I don't have that
But
issue.
believe it or but believe it or not, but I think that it's gonna sound crazy, but there's so few people walking around like Father and Mother Teresa's that usually comes with dealing with most people. Believe it or not, if most people had the camera following them
You
24/7,
justifying, Jeff. You
no, but
justifying.
no, and this is what I mean to say it actually a little bit differently. As a man, I have learned after these 35 plus years of my life that I have to take the truth that I can from wherever it is that I can find it. And my mom would say, eat the meat and spit out the bone. There's no man on this planet, there's no man in this content space who I believe I'm going to follow, listen to, and agree with 100% with everything they're doing with their sexuality, with how they approach women, with their marriages, with their politics, with anything. There's always going to be something they're going to disagree with me about. There's people that won't rock with me just because I was divorced and now I'm remarried, right? There's going to be people who won't fuck with me because in my previous relationships with women, I've cheated, right? So by default, they like, oh, you're divorced and you was a cheater. Oh, I can never hear from you. And now I'm disqualified for them. Like they're never going to receive any information from me, even if what I'm saying is true.
But Jeff, I'm
If
asking you about
what I'm saying is if let's say it's true, let's say it's true. Let's say everything you say is true about Anton. Is he an excellent resource for people to learn about investments, become more politically astute, and think not so much about being beholden to the effects of racism, but what we can do to try to better our lives and our families' lives? That's what I go to Anton for. I do not go to Anton for anything about how to get women. I'm
But
married.
what are your thoughts on it? 'Cause now we done moved to
My thoughts,
complimenting
okay.
Anton, and I'm talking about
My thoughts on it is very clear and very simple. I would disagree with him about why it is I wouldn't talk about women in that way. But at the same time, I also understand that every other man's bedroom and home and household, they run the show when it comes to their dynamic with the women that's consenting to do life in with them in whatever way in which they've agreed to, from wives to girlfriends to side joins, you name it.
But Jeff, I'm
So
gonna get this out of you, Jeff. You might as well let this go. I'm gonna get it out of you.
Okay.
Listen, I'm talking about I'm not talking about any of the things that we can commend, because I can give you a list of the things that I respect, you know what I mean, how he gets down. I can give you some.
Yeah.
But what I'm talking about is from a place of 1 minute speaking about my faith in God, my faith in Christianity, and being that before I'm even a man and things of that nature, talking constantly about family and the marital dynamic, and even bragging about how long you've been married. What are your own personal thoughts about that individual? Then also saying, I got baddies and I got hoes. What are your own personal thoughts about that?
My own personal thoughts is that I actually don't care. I actually don't care. I know it's gonna sound bad.
Hey, you rock heavy with Anton, don't you? You must rock.
No, I don't. It's gonna sound crazy. I've never met Anton. I've never talked to him. I've never had a one-on-one with him. We don't know each other behind the scenes. We've never had any form of communication whatsoever. You know what? I have a real, like, this is what I mean by this. As invested as I'm so invested about what's wrong with us and what we need to change in a macro level, that when we get to these micro levels of who's sleeping with who and who's talking with who and this and that, if it comes out or if it's valid, sure. I just told you I wouldn't describe and talk about women in that way, right? I wouldn't describe any beautiful women that I'm associated with or work with and be like, yo, I got some baddies or I got this. I wouldn't do that. That's not me. That's not my lane. But when I mentioned it earlier, and I'm not sure if you caught it, when I said how we present ourselves in terms of image and branding, the women around you and the men that you surround yourself with also is a form of that. So what I'm saying is how he's describing the women around him, you have a problem with. I may not agree with as well.
No, that's not necessarily what I have an issue with. I'm talking about preaching, like saying I'm a Christian first. Like, I'll be honest. The first thing that I thought was, it went back to his wife. Like, she must be a doormat or something. Like, me, myself, I think it's disrespectful for you to cause somebody to second guess your wife's role or whatever. And here's what I wanted to say to you based on the last statement you made. So you said I don't involve myself in people's stuff like that. So you're telling me you don't scan the people who you listen to for integrity and things. Like, the reason people have a huge problem with my content, especially from back home, but they can never bust me out, I've lived my life in a code. I walked in a code. Was I perfect? Nope, but there's nothing that you can do to bust me out and expose me about. There's none of that. Because, and brother, that is really, really like, those are the people that I subscribe to. I don't mean subscribe to on social media. I'm talking about if I say something good about you, like Dame Dash, say what you want about him. But the brother walks in a code. I've heard it from too many people, man. And those are the things that really, really impress me, man.
Yeah, listen, of course we obviously disagree or have different philosophical views on the importance of how much this affects us individually. What I'm saying is the things that I go to Anton for, I get. I'm not going to Anton as a grown ass man that's married about anything pertaining to side pieces, hoes, or anything like that. That's not even, it's not that I haven't heard that before. It's just not on my radar of like affecting if I'm going to tune into his discussions about investments, his discussions about political awareness. You know what I'm
Did you
saying?
listen to him about marriage and how to make your marriage better?
About the importance of having a marriage and a stable partner and a day one person. Yeah, absolutely for that. But outside of that, no, I don't. And you know what? And this is the funny thing. The reason why, and maybe you felt like I was obfuscating, I'm pushing the goalposts, I'm not really answering directly, is because I went through this. I went through this exact same thing all through my college years, where every single time as a young dude from 18 to 24 years old, I was on a college campus and I was seen with a female. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, it didn't matter. People was giving me body counts that was rivaling King's based on the gossip and the jokes and the innuendos, right? Where just being associated around X amount of women, and some of them I was cool with, some of them I was sleeping with, and some of them were just genuine friends. It didn't matter from outside perspective.
Right.
And what I've now had to learn is if I don't know you personally, all I can go off of is, like you said, the good and bad, what you present, and which parts of it I will receive and accept, and which parts I won't. And I'm gonna keep it moving. That's how it works. And again, it's no different than the racism discussion to who's more disrespectful to who, to if we took the emotionalism out of this stuff, you end up where I'm at, where it's like, I disagree. I probably would approach it differently. I wouldn't describe and talk about women in that way. Whether I identify as Muslim or Christian or not, as a man, I'm not going to approach it that way. But at the same time, I'm going to tell you what I'm looking to him for and what I'm not. And what I'm not looking to him for is the stuff that you're talking about, which is why it's just not as big on the radar for me. Does it matter to other people? I'm sure it does. Maybe it changes their lives in some way. Me caring or not caring about what Anton's doing with people outside of his wife, it doesn't have any bearing on me personally. It's not going to change whether or not I'm going to sleep with my wife or not. It's not going to change whether or not I'm going to be faithful or loyal to her or not. It's not going to change what I'm going to do with my money. It's not going to change what I'm going to do with my politics. So those are the things that matter to me as a man. And I'm like, if people, when people say, yo, well, how you feel about it? I disagree. I disagree.
Well,
yeah, and that's it.
I respect that. Give me your thoughts on Charleston White.
You know, I just had him on last month, right?
I know.
All right. This is going to be controversial, and you may wildly disagree. I'm about to say, bro. I think he is the closest thing we've had to Malcolm and Stokely Carmichael in this generation. Mind you, I've talked to him outside of the podcast. I've talked to him privately. Y'all won't realize what him, you, me, other black men that's in this space trying to address certain things and tackle things from a different angle, they really won't get. They won't get it until he's gone.
I think you're wrong, brother. I think everybody sees what you see. It's hard to hide, brother. He may do his gimmicks and things like that, but the reason that you and I can hold people's attention is because we can talk for the first 5 minutes, and it's going to make sense to the average person, right? Charleston has had that. You can't listen to Charleston White for like 10 minutes and say, that was stupid as hell. No, that's not going to happen. You're going to find out some things that you probably didn't know about. And the cool thing about him, he knows how to twist it up. Also, for those who grew up in the hood, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. When I say, when I'm telling you, I am telling you, everything I'm talking about now, these dudes that we're talking about are so far mentally in the future of what they're doing and building
Right.
that when we get caught up in optics and which stripper they dealing with or who's around them or what they was wearing in the past, like, I'm gonna tell you, man, they're in the things I've learned behind the scenes, and you've been behind the scenes way longer than me. You know about a lot more of these people than I do. The things I found out this and over the last 12 months about some of these dudes behind the scenes, the things that they're building, the things that they're doing, the things that they will not put on social media.
Right.
This stuff, man, that they're doing on front of the camera, that's a means to an end for the algorithm and staying on top of the what
Right.
they're actually doing.
Right.
The 50 plus employees, the
Larger than
program,
life.
the things that they're doing, it's that's what I'm trying to do, and I'm realizing now, like, listen, we can get caught up in a whole host of things. I'm trying to build with everybody I can, from you to others, no matter how big they are, small they are, if they willing to put in the work. I
But
don't care if
Jeff,
you gay. I don't care if you talk crazy. I don't care if you dress different. I don't care if you vote different. Are you trying to work or not?
yeah,
And
but
that's me.
Jeff, how we move, man, determines and lets people know whether or not we can work. Because all
Well,
of that,
Charleston,
even in the
Charleston's a great example of this. He does not move how we all think people are supposed to move, and he's getting more done than all of us.
okay, hold
Getting
on.
laws passed.
Let me drop this
Yeah.
as it pertains to Charleston White.
Mm-hmm.
What percentage do you believe is gimmick? And what percentage is gimmick opposed to the percentage that is very tangible and can be applied?
In terms of when the camera's on in front of these podcasts and everything, 90% of it is a gimmick. 90%. 90%. What he does is the 10% of the raw, like you said, the 10% of real raw truth that he says in his answers. It is so accurate. But in order for him to even still be alive right now,
Yeah. For real.
he has to approach it the way that he is. The dead ass. In order for me, if I was to have accomplished what I know behind the scenes he's done already from a legislative, legal standpoint,
Yeah.
and if I addressed it in the normal way that I think a revolutionary would, I would have been dead by 29.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
I could receive that.
All right. So he said on my interview with him, you've asked me questions that nobody's ever asked me after these hundreds of interviews I've done over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
You were interested in things about my thought process that nobody else was, and they were just interested in the entertainment. And he was like, yeah, listen, if they bring me on, they want to be entertained, that's what it's going to be. I'm going to eat. I'm going to get what I need.
Right.
But if you got somebody who has a different mindset like myself, I wanted to be
that
entertaining.
real stuff going to come out.
And it started to come out. And he had to struggle with making it through that thing with me, because it wasn't just about entertainment for me.
No doubt.
And our dynamic where we were talking about something in an indirect way, and everybody was focused on the antics, the moving, the talking, the joking, the cursing.
You
I'm not
saw it
hearing
in the
any of that.
chats.
Yeah.
You saw it down there in the chats. Yeah, okay.
Oh, no. What they say?
No, I'm talking about, was your interview with him, it wasn't live, was it?
Bro, it was effing live on YouTube. I effed up. I was supposed to pre-record it. This man was talking about things to do to police officers.
Bro, you got to take that to your members only, bro. For real.
Nah, we went in and edited through video editor.
Okay. Listen,
We good.
another question.
Mm-hmm.
Just pearly things.
Oh man. Yo, you Anton, Charleston White. Oh my God. You look
Listen.
crazy. Yeah, this is hilarious. Go ahead.
I'll be honest with you. I've heard about racist things and things like that. I've seen some stuff that she probably shouldn't have done. But I don't really argue against logic. I don't she can't get over on me. I know when I hear something that's not legit, right? So I'm able to put how I ordinarily would feel about her to the side and just listen to see if she's saying anything that makes the bar logic. Do you believe that Just Pearly Things has a colonial mindset, a colonist mindset, or that she's probably racist?
I definitely don't think Pearl is racist. Let me start with that. Do I think that she has a lens that's heavily skewed by being a white woman that grew up in a affluent area and community in Chicago?
Right.
Absolutely. I think that how could that not shape your perspective, right?
Right.
But when you learn, and this is the other thing about meeting some of these people behind the scenes, what you learn, what you observe, and you're like, this don't match the story at all.
Yeah.
Right. So I was just hanging out with her on Saturday, this past Saturday, because I went to see her and Anna Kasparian debate in Atlantic City about the effects of feminism.
I saw that, but I didn't get to see it. But I was, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah. So I actually went, talked to both of them, shook their hands, talked to both of them behind the scenes, but I only got one picture with Pearl and not Anna. So the optics was like, oh man, here he go again. He's siding with a white supremacist.
Right.
And the reality was I was just coming because I got a good invite. I had the opportunity to check him out, do some good networking, learn and see this stuff behind the scenes of how this stuff is built. And I met both of them afterwards, and I just happened to take a picture with one of them. And I had the same exact conversation I had with Pearl that I had with Anna, who's on the left. And I said to her, Anna Kasparian, I would love for you to come on my channel if you check it out or whatever. I'm real big on making sure people have the ability to have a space where they can articulate their actual thoughts and opinions. It's not about whether I agree with them. It's if it's a good, if you have a bad, if I think I have a really good idea or perspective, it should be open to scrutiny.
Right.
And if you think that if your idea is so bad, it shouldn't be so hard for me to tear it down.
I respect that. Now, that's my lane right there, bro. Right?
Yeah. So when it comes to Pearl, whether
me up.
Yes, is she racist? I'm gonna say this, man. Behind the scenes, the people I know that's affiliated with her. It's not just the people who she's currently still employing and paying top dollar who happen to also look like me. And she's been rocking with them for 7 years now. Some of them, a lot of them. There are things that people don't know that this girl has backed in terms of trying to build a platform and put people on and give opportunities. And the amount of money that she put and gave
right
to people like us behind the scenes that people don't know she was funding. And what these mother uffers did and ruin it for people like you and me for us to get those type of deals. Pearl was doing that on her scale in the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for Black content creators.
Right. I remember that.
Now, what happens is you can't fault people who waste a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of resources to us. And then they start saying, y'all motherfuckers don't appreciate this shit. Because guess what? When I go to Black establishments, and guess what? You all have done it too. We say, well, I was trying to give them a chance.
Right.
But they was late. They didn't give me my order on time. This, and that. And then we have to go to the next establishment. We do this all the time. That's a lot of what Pearl was talking about when she was even talking about the concept of Black fatigue. It's that a lot of times, sometimes she has these negative run-ins with some Black people, but it doesn't change her outlook and perspective on the Black people that she actually knows personally and works well with.
I think that'd be hard to splice that because,
of course,
we get tired of Black people sometimes. We as Black people do. So
it's easy for a Black man that critiques the Democrat Party, for people who don't know me personally, just assume I voted for Donald Trump and I worship white men. That's that's an easy thing to consume. I got like effing Malcolm X shirt on. Listen. This it's a good thing I was born in this era and not in the 70s or 60s. Right. But the thing is, I've also learned that the same people who have no problem finding out very little limited information and just assuming that they know so much about another person.
I agree.
Right. These are the same people that hold up Malcolm X and Martin Luther King today that would have hated them if they existed today.
Mm-hmm.
These are the same people. This is the same, because again, the standard that we want to hold Anton to, we don't hold Dr. King to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The same standard where they got to be a Christian before they get our vote. But you say Malcolm was the realest one ever. So at some level, I'm trying to acknowledge, like, a lot of times I acknowledge we can
I
only
think
go off
Martin
of what
Luther
people.
King was dissected now. A
No.
lot of black people kind of turned, like, a lot of black people didn't like the fact that he was messing with other women, and they turned their backs on him.
For different reasons, personally. But to me personally, but the gist of what I'm basically stating is, we basically pick and choose who and why it is that you'll hear a white person say, I want my wife or husband to be white, and they go off as if we ain't heard that our whole lives from black people, that they only want you to bring home. If she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. What the hell that mean? That means exactly what the white man is saying and the Asian man is saying about his group.
I never had a problem with that, though. I don't have a problem with white supremacy. I don't have a problem with that. Why wouldn't you be advancing to make your race? I believe in it. I want blacks to be supreme.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at, man, where it's like, as I'm learning and getting to know these people more, I'm actually just having much more informed information about some of them.
That's dope, brother.
Now,
That's
just
dope.
because I don't know Anton personally doesn't mean I don't know a hell of a lot about him now.
Right.
I
In
know
this
a
space,
whole
you
lot.
will come across the information,
Yeah,
even if you're not looking for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'll give you a cheat code thing about Anton. I think a lot of people don't know. A lot of times when these ladies around him, he'll work. It's a combo of like mentoring, professionalism, networking, shit like that. And he got so little time to interact with a lot of them, the women that he works with, where he will work. They'll be with him for 2 days, 3 days, and they're just looking and watching at what he's doing and who he's meeting with and who he's shaking hands with, so that they can learn the game. But he'll work in up to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning every day. So he ain't even got time for a lot of this extra shit that I think people always think is happening. And sometimes, and I'll say it this way, there are ladies in this space that have a whole list of commentators, whole list of podcasters and manosphere and red pill men. They got a whole list of dudes that's on that list who do a whole lot of stuff that goes against their message that y'all don't know.
Yeah, like, what's his name? The girl
I ain't
cooked
doing
him. Who
I
is
ain't
it? The
doing
girl
that.
cooked him.
No,
Andrew Wilson.
Nah, I'm not doing that. But what I am going to say is,
He said, I'm not doing that.
But what I am going, because as I want Andrew Wilson to come on the show, but I am going to say is, once you learn much more information, a lot of the stuff is actually inverted. What I'm saying is, a lot of the ones that you think is the realest, the rawest, they always walking with integrity, man. If you learn, if you heard from the women directly, and then a lot of the ones that they're saying that he doing this and he doing this and he knocking them down, this and that, all these women behind the scenes, either they all tight-lipped or a lot of these guys is not what you think it is. And when I'm saying a lot of this stuff is inverted, there's a lot of dudes that's getting by that nobody knows is running through everybody behind the scenes. And then there's dudes that everybody's assuming is doing all this stuff, and quiet is kept. It's just the optics make it look like that. Because you got beautiful women around you, we just assume this is what's going down.
I don't think that.
And then you got dudes where you never see. Hold on, There's dudes you never see around women like that, knocking them all down. I'm telling you,
Oh, we
it's
know
the
that
most
exists in the spectrum. We know that exists. You know what I mean?
it's the most
I don't
fascinating
really
thing
judge
I've
people
learned.
by that. I judge
Yeah.
people by their character. But before you go, man, I
Mhm.
don't want to hold you up. I want to ask you about one more person.
Okay.
Jay-Z. Do
All
you?
right.
It's a two-pronged question. We know we've heard about the Illuminati. We've heard about all of this stuff. We've heard about it.
Mm.
When I think about the Illuminati, I don't think as a group of people who get together and determine people's fate. I believe
Yeah.
there's more like groups of people who some don't even mess with each other, who can determine people's fate if you kind of don't move in a certain way that I'd like you to move, things of that nature, right?
Mhm.
As it pertains to Jay-Z, you know this thing with Dame Dash him, like a lot of people can't fathom, like you can't throw him nothing, and then some people say, well, but you don't know what's going on and things like that.
Mhm.
Do you believe that with Jay-Z, do you believe that he's so tied up into the power structure that, because I've been hearing talk lately is what I'm gonna get to. I've been hearing
Mhm.
that in certain of these contracts, even with the NBA players, you know, they're not allowed to say touch certain topics and things like that. And they say that's a
Mhm.
means of basically you signing a contract where you can't help advance your people. Do you
Mm.
believe that that exists with people like Jay-Z and them to where, because people ask, how come our people haven't been brought together yet? Right? Do you believe that there's something like that in place?
Both formally and informally, yes. Now informally, I don't think a lot of this stuff is on paper,
I agree.
right?
I agree.
I think a lot of the things that certain topics you can't cover, certain groups you can't certain issues you can't bring up, certain things you can't try to address. I think there's a more informal,
I agree.
colloquial. Yeah, I think that like there's pressure behind the scenes, there's phone calls. You kind of saw what Kanye, what happened with him, where there
Yeah,
were
yeah.
right? There were people that were coming at him crazy about what he can and can't say, who he can and can't go against, kind of thing. There was no contract that said Kanye can't talk about any foreign entity or group or group of
Right.
people, right? But but again, the same rules probably apply to Kyrie and everybody else. But there is an implicit understanding that there's certain things you can do and there's certain things you can't address. The difference is this: I've seen so many examples of NBA players like LeBron, like Jalen Brown, just putting their money where their mouth is,
Uh-huh.
like actually
Got you,
making
got
things
you.
right. So, what I think is probably happening in that scenario is, and you think about it from a legal standpoint, man, if Dame is owed something, if he thinks Jay Z didn't give him
No,
whatever,
I'm
or
not.
he's
No, I'm
owed,
not. I'm 100%. I am definitely not throwing that out there. I'm talking
no, no,
about
no. The
seeing
reason
a
why I'm saying
comrade
it is,
down.
what I'm basically saying is, if that's ever been in the ethos, and Dame has ever kind of alluded to that, and that things were taken from him that shouldn't have been, and somebody on Jay-Z's level or connected with anything they've done transfers anything to him from a legal argument perspective, this justifies as proof to show that they owed me something. The if me and you had a business deal and things didn't work out or we went our separate ways and you felt like you didn't get your just due 5, 10, 15 years later, I said, you know what, bro, I'm feeling bad. Let me slide you 20K. Let me slide you 100K. And you felt like I owed you 300,000. Now you could take me to court and say, listen, Your Honor, I've been trying to get him to pay me back forever. And he finally gave me something close to what he owed me. And why would he give me when I'm not working for him? I'm not an employee, I'm not a contractor, and he just gave me X amount. This clearly showed he owes me X amount of what he was supposed to give me. You
Hey,
know what I'm
boy,
saying?
I'm gonna
So, like,
tell you, boy, you good,
yeah.
boy. He'll stay away from that fight.
Nah, there's a thing. Well, I'm just saying that there's
I
multiple
don't.
things
I
at
want to
play.
make sure everybody know. I've never said that like Dame thinks, because I think they all agreed that Dame probably took some money he shouldn't have took, or out of a trust, a
Mm,
saving they had. But I was
mhm,
just talking from a perspective of like seeing a comrade down. Like I forget who it is. They say Jay did. Meek Mills. Like he's looked out for people,
mhm,
but
mhm.
it's my opinion
Yeah.
that without Dame Dash, man, there would be no Jay-Z, man. There's a lot of people's opinion. You can't say that
Yeah,
for a fact, you
let's
know.
That's fair, but again, I'm gonna say it as easy as I possibly can, man. There are things that I've been through in life where there were people I had to distance myself from or
No
stop
doubt.
talking to
No doubt.
altogether, and nobody knew the dynamics of what happened and how it happened and why to justify why I had to distance myself from them. It's just the optics of, man, that's so and so. Man, that's family, bro. Man, that's you knew them for 20 years. And sometimes we got to acknowledge that we can have the optics of that don't look good. We wish he could have done something different. And we also got to acknowledge from a humility standpoint, we really don't know, man,
Right,
at the
right.
end of the
I
day,
think people
why
want
this
to
done.
know. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
And
Like,
we never go, and that's the crazy part. When
say we
the
never
more the
will.
higher up you go, you never gonna know. The higher up, then you never gonna know. Like we don't know to this day what happened in that why that elevator incident happened with him and
Yeah,
Salon.
yeah.
Right? We ain't never go listen, and they never spoke on it, and they never will. It just
I
had
agree.
happened, it came, it went, and they still at social events to this day together.
Listen, man.
So that's how I move.
Man, you know it's always a pleasure, man. I appreciate you coming on and blessing us, man, with the information, man.
Man, wait till people see our episode, man. When people
Hey,
go
man, I'm
see our
sending this to you because you listen.
no, I'm talking about our other one, our first
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Listen, I'm sending this to you. It's gonna be called We Transfer, but that's another thing. Listen, I want you to tell the people before you go why you do this and what's the goal.
All right, for the goals that I can say out loud that will keep me alive,
Right,
I want
right.
to help. I want um I want to change our approach with how we interact with social media, with how we think and view each other, with pushing us to become more like read more, become less emotion led, become more better critical thinkers, and start thinking practically, realistically, aggressively about what it is that we need to do individually and collectively to change our outcomes versus waiting for a government,
I
the
agree.
United Nations, or some system or something external to change our dynamics.
I love it.
So that's my lens to attack everything that I think is harming and hurting us, and attack it in different ways, collaborate with other people, men especially, to actually fix and address these issues, and then come up with some real world, everyday solutions from every single thing that I think is broken with us, whether it's me or advocating for someone else that's already doing it. Just approaching this space a little bit different, which is why, I try not to go too hard in on people that look like us. I can acknowledge that something is bad, something is wrong. But if I think that they still have value, if I still think that they're important, it's far better for me with what my long-term views are about what to fix and how to address things, to maintain as many good relationships with as
No
many
doubt
people as
about it.
possible
No doubt about it.
than to take the moments to pile on like everybody else and then ruin an opportunity where we could have built something together.
Hey, man, you already know, man. It's always a pleasure rocking with you. I appreciate you coming on, man. We definitely got to do it again, man.
Appreciate you.
Dang, I accidentally clicked my brother off too soon. Hey, listen, I need you guys, as you can see, I need you guys to go check out that brother's YouTube, Ask a Brother podcast, right? Subscribe to the show. There's going to be many features that you're going to see of people who you're already familiar with. And as you can see, the brother's going to hold his own up against any scrutiny, any conversation. And this is the type of information that we need. I've talked to him outside of this before, you know what I mean? And the plans and strategies that he has, he's not just trying to be a content creator. See, he's not just trying to be a content creator. We need people alongside of us who are trying to make change, or else our children won't come into anything better than this. The generations to come after us. Shout out to my brother Jeff up in this situation, rocking with us. Crump said, "You got Anton wrong, Stacy. The trap is set unless you go way back, way back. I'm giving you game." All right. Listen, people, I gotta let you know I'm disappointed in the show support. We didn't even make our $50 a night show goal. I don't know, that's crazy work. That's crazy work. We need 5 more people to either $5. We short $25 of our nightly goal, people. Rock with the show like we rock with you. Where's our Cash App people at? Let's get this thing going, people. We're probably going to go ahead and keep this thing going for a minute.
Manhood is all we got left. You really got to understand this. Just give me a second to land on this.
I'm with you. I'm listening.
If we don't have our manhood, we ain't got nothing. So when a man walk up to you and say something flirtatious to you, when a man walk up to you and say something where he's challenging your manhood and things like that, trust me, I don't care how savage it may seem. When you dealing with a man, you can set a man off if you in his face and you saying things that are not. I'm not talking about somebody just saying anything. I'm talking about there are certain things, like I can't walk up to a man walking down the street with his wife, Anton, and say, man, your bitch thick.
I agree.
I'll be like, wait a minute. Of course, by me being older, the last thing I want is drama in the streets. But what I'm saying is, you can't disrespect men face to face. You can do it online because it's easy to do it online.
Nope. See, that's where we disagree.
Okay, I want to hear this.
That's where we disagree because you got to keep the same energy across the board. You can't pick and choose when you can disrespect somebody and when.
Yes, you can, Anton. Stop the shenanigans. You must pick and choose when you're going to disrespect somebody. You may disrespect your wife, but you better not go over in South Central tossing out that same disrespect. Listen, shout out to my bro Ether over here with the $40 situation popping off with us. Up in this mother. Nah, we not doing that. We not doing that. Shout out to Miss Brenda over here in this situation. Let me see something. Miss Brenda dropping the 20 bag on us. Listen, Anton knows he's capping. We all got to watch our mouth in certain, yes, we all have to watch our mouth in a different way depending on See, I think Anton's trying to say something, but let me see something. Give me a second, people. Anton is trying to say something, but it's not legit. It's not legit. Like, and I've said this before. I think we have to be careful. I think we have to be careful even saying that type of stuff out loud because we could get somebody hurt. Seriously. You could get somebody hurt.
You can't disrespect.
Say, man, your bitch thick. I'll be like, wait a minute. Of course, by me being older, the last thing I want is drama in the streets. But what I'm saying is, you can't.
I'll say this. I believe you can't tell somebody what degree of response they can impute upon you, but you definitely
disrespect men face to face. You can do it online because it's easy to do it online.
Nope. See, that's where we disagree.
Okay, I want to hear this.
That's where we disagree because you got to keep the same energy across the board. You can't pick and choose when you can disrespect somebody and when you can't disrespect somebody.
So I disrespect my little brother if we get into a heated thing or a childhood friend and we call each other bees, and then I also go over to Compton and try to do the same thing. It's smarter for me to choose to not do that in Compton. My childhood friend is going to show me a different level of grace, and he knows that I'm going to do the same to him when we get disrespectful towards each other. I don't know.
and then pick and choose when you're going to react to somebody disrespecting you. You wrong, bro. You wrong as two left shoes. You're wrong, bro.
Hold on. What did he just say? I might agree with that.
Is you can't disrespect men face to face. You can do it online because it's easy to do it online.
Nope. See, that's where we disagree.
Okay, I want to hear this.
That's where we disagree because you got to keep the same energy across the board. You can't pick and choose when you can disrespect somebody and when you can't disrespect somebody, and then pick and choose when you're going to react to somebody disrespecting you. You wrong, bro. You wrong as two left shoes. You're wrong, bro. I fuck with you. I fuck with you because you are one of the most disrespectful, and stand on that shit.
But I want to understand what you're saying, Anton. You missed me when you say you can't disrespect people with what? Make sure you explain that to me.
You got to keep the same energy across the board, bro.
You can't. You will lose your life.
I don't understand.
You can't say I'm going to disrespect you online, but then you can't do nothing in person.
Oh, I agree with that, but where did that come from?
Well, trust me.
That's not. No, you can't do that.
I'm not saying.
I agree with
I'm not
that.
saying what you're wrong about. But listen, talking to somebody in person is different than talking to somebody online. And if I'm so disrespectful, what do I do to be disrespectful online? Because you said I'm disrespectful online. I would like to know.
You said out of your own mouth that you will be disrespectful online.
Did
it
I?
ain't even. Yes,
Did
you
I say
did.
that?
You
Did
just
I say
said
I'm
that.
disrespectful online?
You said you can disrespect. It's different if you disrespect somebody online versus doing it in real life.
No, I didn't say what I would do.
Oh, that's not different. If you disrespect them online, you should be willing to disrespect them. I agree with him on that.
How is it different?
I said,
I
if
agree.
somebody in the chat room is saying something disrespectful about me, I don't hold that against them because they're
What
typing.
about when you talking about real people?
What do you mean?
If you comment on somebody and
I
you
agree.
give your opinion on real people.
I don't want to go back and forth. I'm trying to make sure you understand what I'm saying. Do you hear
I
me when I
understand
say
what you're saying.
whatever I say online?
I think Anton is saying what you'll say online. Be willing to stand on that in real life. I agree 1,000% with that.
Giving an opinion of something is different than if I am.
About an opinion. I said disrespectful. How can How can you determine whether or not somebody feels disrespected?
Well, feelings is one thing, man.
You felt some type of way?
Yeah, because ain't nobody finna stand in front of my face and talk to me like they on my level when it comes to homosexuality. Like that'll start a war. That'll start a war.
We can agree to disagree. I think you're wrong, bro. I personally, I'm telling you directly, you're hypocritical.
Okay, well, you can say that. I don't think I'm gonna win that argument with you now. But what I am saying to you, Anton, is when you are talking to men face to face, trust me when I tell you this, man, it's different than online.
Oh no, I think I agree with Anton on this. Hold on, let me see.
Face
I'm
to
the
face.
same person in real life as I am online. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. Right? Anybody?
Yeah, I gotta side with Anton on that. Like, I know Corey ain't saying what I think he's saying. Because what you say to me online when I see you, I'm going to recall and have the same energy that I felt when you said that about me online. So now we have an issue at this Walmart. Yeah, I doubt that that's what Corey's saying, because if that's what he's saying.
Listen, I go city to city. I'm not an online nigga, bro. Like, I create content online, but I really am out in every single city. I done visited almost every single state. I have real meetups.
So you can't give me an example?
Because
That's the third time.
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
You tiptoed around Dave Chappelle.
You talking about the last time I said something about it?
You tiptoed around Dave.
I'll give you that.
You tiptoed like a ballerina.
But now I'm gonna give you that.
No.
But what did I tiptoe about?
You would not.
I'm gonna respect Corey a lot right here. Anton hit him, and I didn't see it, but I knew Anton was probably telling the truth when he said that. But I'm gonna definitely give Corey respect for acknowledging that. That's how you can shut my mouth. If that's how you can shut my mouth. If you acknowledge something, you can shut my mouth.
did that shit on a regular motherfucker. You know that Dave Chappelle's last Netflix special was not it.
And I tiptoed around it.
And you tiptoed around it because
did.
you didn't want
I did.
you didn't want the smoke.
I respect that.
Overall. And so
Because
you pick and choose your targets carefully.
You see, I didn't want the smoke.
No, because you didn't want the you didn't want the backlash.
Okay, but look, let me say this. Let me say this because you brought it up. I did tiptoe around how I really feel with the last special because I'm not gonna lie. It's everything that I said the time before when I spoke about it. Hot trash. No jokes. In the future, when people watch it, that don't know him like we know him now in this culture, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is this? I'll give you that. I did tiptoe around his special.
Corey just earned a different degree of respect from me. Because he could have stood with some BS. I always honor when someone keeps it real. I always honor that. People get points from me when I see the real sides of them. I always honor that.
And you know what?
And
I can live with that. I can live with that. But what else? I ain't trying to think of nothing else. But I'm saying I think that was kind of. And you found a way to bring that nigga into it.
I love you, Darlene. I love Craig. But they will not call you out on your bullshit and challenge you.
Now you trying to turn.
No, I'm you.
Corey said, "Now you trying to turn my people against me."
You asked me for the feedback. I didn't volunteer it. You forced me. I said, you know what?
Now, see, I'm going to tell you something that I like that Anton's doing right now. I love when people put people's feet to the fire. Like, are these valid claims? Let's talk about it in front of everybody. I love that.
No, I don't want to do that.
Okay.
Then you said, okay, well, Anton, go ahead and keep on naming names and let's get to it. Okay, well, let's get to it then if that's what you want to do.
Well, how about this? Let me can I respond
because
to that?
Darlene is real chill and she not gonna cause no friction. And Craig is happy to be here.
Okay, so can I say something about that?
But see,
Well,
I
you don't cut me off.
I don't give a fuck because I'm rich too, so I'm cool. I got my own movement. I got my own motion, so I can tell you the truth. And I think that you also surround yourself with people that will not challenge you because you big dog to them. Okay. You big bro.
Okay, so let me say this since you brought up Darlene and Craig.
And I'm going to say this. Even in relationships, if you get locked in with somebody who won't challenge you, how will you grow? And I'm not talking about Corey because I don't know what they're about to say, but that's always a bad idea. That's never a good idea. Like you've seen so many people fall to peril, like these rappers who are losing their lives and things like that. We're like, or just the goofball antics that they're doing, like Ray J, like who do you have around you, right?
Let me say this. You don't know our relationship. But
I know what
I can't. I'm doing more teaching. I'm doing more teaching on some real street level shit than I thought I would have had to do. But listen to me, Anton. You don't know me and her relationship.
I'm listening.
Maybe the reason you don't get the results you want.
Hey, Ether, elaborate on that. Let me know what you meant by that. There are instances where Darlene will slow the show down. Let me know what you meant by that.
From her is because there's a certain level of respect that comes from me and her relationship. That's what I'm saying. You don't know, brother. So that's what I'm saying.
I'm not talking about
you speaking on her.
I'm not talking about you talking about her. I'm talking about when there's certain subjects that come up on your show.
We done argued on the air a million times.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Come on, bro.
I'm just saying.
Corey, sometimes you be on bullshit. Nobody call you out on it.
Now I'm trying to teach you, but I don't think you catching it.
Okay, I'm observe.
You don't know my relationship with this woman. You don't know. So when you see it online and speak on what you see online, you can't really speak from factual things that are happening in the world. And
I think there's always going to be that boss and employee dynamic where the employees know how far to go. It's hard to get around that. If Corey is the owner of this show, I mean, the smart thing to do would be to, chill out when you see you pissing him off. We do it every day in the corporate sector.
Time.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So, and with Craig, I don't know why motherfuckers say Craig don't have a backbone around me. Cause one thing I say that Craig beat most motherfuckers' ass I know. I see motherfuckers don't be fighting Craig. I see motherfuckers don't run up on him with that bullshit quick. The motherfuckers who I seen ran up on Craig way bigger than Craig. So the obvious needs to be said, because I believe that there's a lot of people who don't know the obvious, and I can't teach you that in an episode. But I'm saying, like, if you ever see me around any woman, Anton, if you see me around any woman, trust me, dude's been paid, homie. And I can't say it no other way better than that. Dude's been paid. That might not be something you will catch. I'm saying this for the streets. Dude's been paid, homie. Trust me, man. Trust me. I don't be around just anybody. I can't let any type of woman just come with me and be connected to me in no way. I don't like that. If you around me, it's a reason you around me. And I'm saying, like, I don't know if I could graduate you to that next level of the conversation. And that ain't no disrespect to you. But I'm saying, like, you.
Hey, I'm going to go on. My bro Ether down here putting it down. Listen, I agree, man. Craig is a boss in his own right. I agree. He don't act like no flunky. He got his own information. I used to think that when I first saw Craig, I looked at it like, oh, this is one of Corey's friends who he's just giving, throwing a bone to him. No, Craig legitimately holds his own. He actually has information. You know what I mean? And listen, if Craig is a lapdog for Corey, then why did he, because he's not here tonight for his own gig. He's prioritizing what Craig got going on, right? Let's go.
See somebody around me? Oh, I ain't just got anybody around me. Dude's been paid, homie. That's what I'm saying. And I ain't saying that tough either. I'm just trying to say it in a way where I hope you can understand. Yeah. Okay. So anybody around me, dude's been paid. I don't let anybody around me. If you around me and dudes ain't been paid, I'm trying to get away. I don't know you.
And we spoke right
Got
before
a
the show.
question for
Anton.
Anton.
So.
Anton.
What happened?
No,
got a
I'm
question
not
for
talking
Anton.
about.
No, I understand.
You
I
get
did.
me?
I
Okay.
got that.
All right.
I got that. But in my case, too, whenever I choose to speak up or challenge him on anything or tell him, look, I don't agree with that or what have you, I won't keep delving into it because I don't see the point, because I know at a certain point with men like you at your age, there's not going to be any change. So why? I don't even bother with it. I just, I might say, I don't like that. I don't agree with that. And then if they want to continue, I'm not for it.
I'm with you.
That's it. I just don't like, I don't do that. I got way more important fish to fry in that. And I thought, I'm not going to change this man's mind on stuff, so I just don't even bother. That's it.
But another thing about the ladies, since we talking about this, see, whenever I see a woman with a man, most of the time, if it ain't your wife, I already say to myself, what is this fuck shit? Why is this motherfucker in the streets with you? That's how I feel about life. So I'm saying, like, that might be a prejudice that I have, I can admit. If a woman is in the streets with a man.
Shout out to my brother Larry Lovelace in this situation.
It's not that I care at all, because it's not my business. But I'm saying, like, if a man stepped to me with a woman and it ain't his wife, all I do is say to myself,
You mean like checking you?
not checking me, brother. I'm saying, like, if a man has a woman with him,
Okay.
and you know what I'm saying, it's not his wife, I don't know what the fuck that is, and I don't want nothing to do with it. That's all across the board as I've gotten older and wiser. Like, if a man got a woman with him and he say, hey, hold on, man, how you doing? This is my lady, so-and-so, so-and-so. It makes me say, okay, this is his lady. That's what that is. But I'm saying, like, if a man is in the streets with a woman, sitting next to a woman, and all like this, whatever, and this bitch ain't been explained, I'm like, hold on. What the fuck is this sucker shit? Especially if it's imposed in any way. That's what I'm saying, G. And I know you know what I'm talking about because you ain't finna act like you ain't smart. You smart than a motherfucker.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
Wow.
if somebody introduces you, if somebody took the time,
I don't know what he's talking about.
If somebody actually walks in and takes the time to introduce you to somebody, that's being imposed on. I'm like, uh-oh.
There's people in the
That's
chat
how
say,
I
what
see
is
it.
Corey talking about? All the uninitiated don't know what I'm talking about.
I'm like,
uninitiated.
Don't introduce me to, especially if I know that person. or
That's
that
how I
person.
believe that.
This is what I know.
I
This is
think
what
you're
I am.
putting me- that
This
me-
is, I admit that I am a C student.
in what?
In
like,
life and everything.
Okay.
In school and everything. I'm a C student. So the way I like to do it is I like for people to break it down to me like a C student. Help me to understand like I'm barely graduating. Break it down to me like a little child. The way that you would talk to a child, talk to me.
Right.
That's why I like to do it. And it's easier for me to digest it.
I like that you said that, but see, I'm at a stage of the game. I ain't got time to talk to kids.
Why not?
I don't got time to talk to kids. My kids grown, and I'm saying like if they ask me to go to a school and speak to the children, I would tell the children to do what's right, because I know that's what they're supposed to do. I'll be like, listen, do what's right. Whenever you get that feeling like you're doing something wrong, then step back and do what's right. That's what I would tell kids. That way I would be able to speak from the heart.
So you're one of those do what I say, not what I
No.
I said do what's right.
Let me tell you what my translation of
what
that is. This is my translation of that. I don't want to substantiate my argument, or I don't want to break it down to where you'll actually understand it because you may be able to break down what it is that I'm saying. So I choose to only speak in riddles, and I also want to speak in parables because then I could say, well, if you don't know, you don't know, you don't get it. Now, I might get it. I might know exactly what you're talking about, but I might act like I don't know what you're talking about because I want you to substantiate your argument. So that's what I stand on. But that's why I say break it down to me like a C student so that I can truly understand exactly what you're talking about, so that we all can understand it because we all may need to learn something.
Right. So
That's
look,
what the
you
OGs
said.
do. They teach, right?
You said you go, but what you said in there, that was a key word. You act like you don't know. And I know you act like you don't know, brother.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You just said it. Believe me,
Why
you said
is
it.
Phil laughing?
Phil's silly. He's
Phil
silly.
out. Look,
Really
you know
trying
what?
to look. It was an intense moment in here, Anton, and we trying to make it where it is professional. We trying to make it where it ain't what everybody said might be or whatever the fuck. Because I ain't with all that. I ain't got to go to war with no man who visited our show and probably didn't understand one thing, how I was thinking, and I probably didn't understand one thing, how he was thinking.
Corey not gonna have me back on the show, y'all.
You funny, man. You
not gonna have
funny.
me back on the show.
If I wasn't gonna have you back on the show, I wouldn't have shook your hand. I hope you believe that. When I caught myself, I was like,
You know what I'm
man,
doing
this
right
man
now,
don't know that
Phil?
he
I'm putting
did that.
pressure on him to get me back on the show.
But it ain't working
By
that.
saying that he not going because
It ain't gonna work like that. But I'm saying,
Corey don't like this, dog. He don't like this.
What? I think it's
Wait, what?
My husband used to ejaculate prematurely
What?
until this.
Seems to be the type of person that goes off of how he feels.
If you notice, I'm doing a lot of explaining to you about how the line can get crossed, but you're doing a lot of telling me what I am. I think that's homosexual behavior.
I said Corey seems to be, meaning that I'm leaving open a door to get corrected. I want him to correct me if I'm wrong, but I still want the freedom to be able to give my opinion. So you don't want me to get my
You
thoughts?
can have the freedom, brother.
Why
What
is
I
that-
look like
why
trying
is
to take
everything-
freedom from you?
No. I'm starting to feel some type of way, bro, because why is everything homosexual to you?
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, if,
When
I'm gonna try to
when did the
explain.
conversation turn into homosexuality again?
Okay, I'm gonna let you land. I'm gonna let you land because I don't want to talk over you.
I'm
enough.
trying to understand it. Why is everything gay?
I can
don't get
explain it. I can explain
Okay,
it.
go ahead.
Maybe look, I'm not saying that you gay, but what I'm saying is if you looking at another man and you say you talking to me through another man, if I'm a man, I'm gonna say, well, I'm right here.
Yeah, but you're not getting it.
You still talk about me. Homie, this is a gay conversation.
It's not.
when you talking to men who play in riddles and stuff like that, I'm telling you,
You the one that's talking in riddles. I'm
you ain't
talking
never been to
straight
jail, have you?
Hell no, I ain't never been to jail.
I
Why
could
would have been to
tell.
jail?
I could tell.
You been to jail?
Nope.
So,
Nope.
So what the fuck that mean then?
I'm just saying, like, if you went to jail, they would have to start you over from scratch.
What would they do to you?
The people who
You would be the tough one.
No. Just let me land with this. The people
I don't
who
think from a jail perspective, nigga. I'm not a jailbird. I'm never going to jail.
I see.
What
Well,
the fuck is we
you
talking
can't
about?
say what you'll never do, but I'm
I'm
saying
never going to jail, bro.
okay.
I don't even have that in, dog. I don't even like that type of energy.
I'm just trying to make a point. I'm just trying to make a point, Anton. What I'm saying is, I have been around enough people who have been institutionalized where I know how to carry myself around men who not finna play with you. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I don't hang around niggas that been to jail, so I saw for it that way. The way you saw for it is a little bit different than the way I saw for it.
Okay.
So I choose not to hang around niggas that's been institutionalized, that had to carry themselves a certain way because they made a decision that they wasn't supposed to make.
And you know, it shows that you've been around people that ain't seen the other side of the game. Because some of the smartest men I know they've been to college and gave that time up. And it was actually a learning process for them. But they still got to stand 10 toes down when they out here, Anton. I don't believe that you tried to disrespect me now that I've been talking to you. I don't believe that. I believe that you are the way you are. I am the way I am. And it can clash if people are not educated on how to be around each other because men can go to war over misunderstanding.
He's throwing an intellectual shot right now.
What am I doing?
So without saying it, he's basically saying, oh, you from a different space, so you don't get the way that we move over here.
Over here or anywhere in the United States of America, and that's not a black thing. I'm talking about Caucasians, Hispanics, and Asians understand the respect level men must have when they're in front of each other because it can trigger
I agree with that.
war. That's all I'm saying to you.
I understand everything that happens when it happens. I'm a chess player. That's what I've been playing my entire life. Okay. Maybe you walked into something that you wasn't expecting.
I don't go with.
Maybe I knew what you was gonna do before you did it.
Maybe,
and I triggered you. Who knows?
Maybe. But I tell you what. That's a dangerous game to play, especially if you got a life that you live in. Because I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of people in the cemetery that didn't know it was finna happen like that fast. That's why out here I try to walk under the code. There's a code out here.
No, you don't. And that's why I said
you say I don't walk under the code?
No, you're hypocritical. I told you that to your face.
The whole world a hypocrite, but what are you talking about?
No, you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite when it comes.
I believe you.
When it comes to specifically you moving by a code.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Because you think that you can say what you want to say when you want to say it, and that people are supposed to respect the way that you move. But I don't think that you move the way that you're supposed to anyway.
I want this thing to be studied because here's the truth. Brother Anton is talking about everybody else but himself and white men. This is a fact.
I like this chat. Let me tell y'all why I like the chat.
Everything but himself and white men.
No, listen. I told you I want to come back and have a full conversation about it. Or we can talk about it right now. I ain't got nothing better to do.
Study this episode.
Shout out to the
shit on Caucasian males.
Shout out to the chat.
Ain't shit on himself.
I'm not gonna shit on nobody.
Yeah, you shitted on black people. You shitted on motherfuckers.
I feel like
I am gonna say this. It seems there's nothing we can do to get him to go ahead and answer that question. Does he have anything to say about the atrocities that whites have committed? He's actually standing on it. That I'm not gonna answer that. That's very telling. Like he's literally letting you know, yeah, that's not something I'm going to touch. That's a problem. Corey keeps bringing it up.
I shitted on you. To your face. To your face.
Be careful shitting on me because I feel like you're talking shit again.
I'm not talking shit. I'm telling you.
Careful.
I'm telling you.
You shitted on me to my face, but that shit will lead to some danger.
Will we please stop the
Trust me.
The tough talk? I got security, you got security. Ain't
Homie,
nobody
I
doing
ain't
shit.
got security. Them my people.
Cool. Them your
You
security
gotta
people.
hire a motherfucker to be with you.
Absolutely. I'm always gonna hire somebody to
You
be
better.
100%.
How you be talking?
Corey, stop talking tough. Stop talking tough.
Homie, you
just said that you're
I'm not
even
talking
a
tough.
guy.
I'm talking to you straight up.
Why are you so
You
easily
said you
triggered?
disrespected me in my face. And then you act like it was all
You said that I
good.
disrespected you to your face. So I'm confirming what you said. You felt disrespected. So I am telling you that I disrespected you if that's the way you felt. Is that not what you said? You said that out of your mouth. And so I apologized when you said that you felt disrespected.
No. The reason you said you
But you still
disrespected me in
triggered
my
by it
face
because you don't accept the apology because you
still
still
talking
feel
about
some type of
everybody
way.
else except yourself and white men.
I'm telling you what I said. You felt offended by it, so I apologize. All I'm doing is rehashing a conversation that happened. Why you so easily offended?
You still talking about me? It sounds like I'm arguing
because I'm right. See?
Okay, Corey, you was wrong right there, Corey. In my opinion, he is wrong right. He just basically called that man a bitch. Bitch and suck my thing are the... Let me see.
I be around bitches and they tell me about myself all the time. Be gone.
No.
That shit don't hurt no feelings. It's probably better this way.
Because I just proved my point.
Be down.
You're
you proved the
hypocritical.
point.
You're hypocritical.
Homie, just gone, man.
You hypocritical,
Just gone,
bro.
man.
You
Just gone.
hypocrite. I'm out the jet.
You done did this before.
He's
Get your
hypocritical,
bitch ass the...
and
Hey, homie.
All right, I'm out.
Get your bitch ass the fuck on. And walk over there with your bodyguard and your bitch, nigga. Walk over there with your bodyguard and your bitch.
You proved my point.
I got shit to do.
You're right.
Don't bring bitches up here, dog, that you ain't finna stand on. Remember I told you that. If you got a bitch with you, explain the bitch. Don't ask her to be on my show, nigga. Can she be on the show? I don't know that bitch, nigga. Now get your whole ass the fuck on and pay for your pussy like you got to, cake ass nigga. And go get you a bodyguard, because the nigga be done slap the shit out your bitch ass. I got shit to do. I ain't finna...
Listen. Hey, people, we just got hit with another flag TikTok. I'm going to go ahead and end this. Jeez. Before they go ahead and cancel this page. I appreciate you guys rocking with us, TikTok. We got to preserve this. The only live we got left right now. Oh, don't nobody want to hear that. I think Corey had reached a point to where he was like, because when you call another man a B, yeah, he must have went to that place where he want something bad to pop off. Yeah, I agree. He said them fighting words like. But I think overall Anton handled it well, getting up, walking off, things like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think I respect that. I want somebody like Anton. Anton really wasn't going to answer that question. Now it's got me wanting to know even more. Like, that was crazy. He really spent most of the interview dodging anything that he had to say about white men. And I find that very odd because he made it very clear, no, I'm not going to address that. That means some connections or some, I don't know. Like, because see, what you guys see about me, if I'm going to say something about somebody, I'm going to say it. I'm not just going. I just speak my opinions, especially if I can back them up by something tangible. Okay, see what I see now. I see you guys are behaving like Anton fans. That's not the way to move. You shouldn't be a Corey fan. You shouldn't be an Anton fan. You should be a loyalist to logic, right? I see some people down there that the slightest mention of Anton's name, you guys get fired up more than Anton would. That's crazy. I agree, Observer. I agree. I really would have liked for him to answer that question. That seems me odd that he literally said, I'm not going to answer that. That's crazy. Corey, like far too many blacks, lacks de-escalation skills. Look what white America does. White America goes and drops bombs. The hell? Oh, okay. I can respect that. All right, people, we didn't hit the close to 4 hour mark, which is not what we're supposed to be doing. I appreciate everybody for rocking with us. Hope you guys were rocking with the show and that you understood the content. Raja is an Anton loyalist for real. That's all good, all good. We are out of here, people. You know what it is. I appreciate you guys rocking with us. I appreciate our show sponsors.